last so long. Can you tell me the draft picks that are exciting there for you at 13? I bet you could in the NBA draft. I bet you could tell me a handful of guys you'd be excited if the Dolphins took in the second day of the draft. But NBA draft second day doesn't really matter.
No, well, so the NBA does the first and second round. They have two rounds. The NFL draft, obviously, everyone knows the players going late into it. The NHL draft, I couldn't even tell you the first player in it. So I'm glad the Panthers got rid of their picks here, to be quite honest, because Omar, the NHL draft is basically the equivalent of the MLB draft for me. You don't know a ton of
Development
those players, yeah. So the Panthers able to get rid of a few picks here and bring in another star. And they look like they are going to be the favorites here this upcoming season with a healthy core able to come back. And last season for the Panthers just got off to a bad start with Barkov getting hurt before the season even started, and it just felt like things were not going to come together for them. It didn't. They kind of hung in there. Maybe they were going to make a push towards sneaking into the playoffs, but Matthew Tkachuk had a lot of injuries that he was dealing with, and a lot of mileage on the body, man. Those long runs through the playoffs put a lot of that extra mileage on the old body there. So the Panthers just they fell a little flat last year. But how about this move to bring in Brady Tkachuk, presumably to go on the second line? We'll talk to Doug Plagans later in the show, and he'll break this thing down for us a little more. And we'll get into some card talk with Doug Plagans. He's a big card nerd, so we'll get into some card talk with Doug later in the show. Anthony Bender from the Marlins is going to join us in the 9 o'clock hour as the Marlins, another great story. We have some good stories down here. Dan, this is a good situation here, man. This is nice. So we have some good stories going on down here. The Marlins, a couple games over.
Got a big game tonight for the Marlins.
Yeah, big series here. They got three more.
The Tartan Army's going to be there.
Who's going to be there?
Tartan Army.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
The Scottish team, the Scottish fans are going to be marching and going crazy, and they promise they're going to drink Lone Depot Park out of all their beer.
Well, I'm guessing if there's anyone that could do it, it would be those fans. But the Marlins are a great story right now. A couple over 500. They got three more at home here before they head out on the road for quite a while. So, if you want
are you surprised by this? This
the Marlins are over 500.
Yeah.
About 80 games into this thing.
No.
Well, you look at their payroll and you would say, yes, this is somewhat surprising that they are at this point. And they've just been a fun team last few years. I think Clay McCullough does a great job for them as their manager, and for them to be at this point, this late in the season, about the midway point here, I think this is pretty good, pretty impressive stuff from the Marlins here, and we'll see, man. Maybe the Marlins at some point they start to spend a little more cash and bring some more guys in here and really become a contender, because they do have. Obviously, a lot of pretty good young talent on this team.
It's not the cash that bothers me. So spending the cash, it's that your farm system for all the other teams that want to pay and compensate your best players when you generally don't, or you do compensate them and then you trade them away. So there's no investment that can be made safely in this organization, and that's what history, probably 20 years of history, tells us.
Yes, I'm with you on that one, but definitely, again, a very cool story right now with the Marlins being over 500 at this point in the year. I mean, we're into it, man. We're late into it. This isn't like, okay, we're 10 games in and they're a couple over. Like this is about the halfway point through the season. So this is a pretty cool story. So you got the Marlins playing good baseball. You got the Panthers making their big move. The Heat, you're next. The Heat are officially on notice here that it's time to make a big move, and this Giannis back and forth is starting to get interesting. I gotta think the Heat are the team, Omar, and I keep following these odds that they keep putting out on these different prediction markets and stuff, and I gotta think the Heat are where Giannis wants to go at this point. I think that he could put together a pretty good offer. Now, I don't blame Boston. Someone was upset with Milwaukee, and they're like, Milwaukee's jerking everyone around. And it's like, well, if you're Milwaukee at this point, you want to try to get the best offer you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Right. And you're trading. And then I saw someone sent out. And, again, I don't know what's true at this point, Omar. I don't know who's talking to who. I don't know how many of these teams leak different crap out there. I'm guessing a lot of it's agent driven, but another person's like, oh, Milwaukee doesn't want the Heat to be able to assemble a team around Giannis. And it's like, yeah, no crap. Like they're in the same conference. You don't want to help a rival team in the East, get better than you, right? So, yes, I think that Milwaukee is going to hold on to the last minute. I think they will try to fleece the Heat for as much as they possibly can.
I mean, what more can you want from the Heat? I mean, literally, you can have everything but Bam.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's always been on the table?
He'd still need to find a way to put together a team of warm bodies around Giannis.
Yeah.
You can't just bring in Giannis with Bam and say, okay, we're good to go.
Let me ask you, the one player that you wish the Heat would hold on to in this trade is who?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I lean kind of Kalal where
Really?
that he played really well towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
I know he was kind of in the doghouse for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he spent 2 years in the doghouse, though.
I know, and maybe it's just because I just got done watching Wemby play, and I know we don't play the Spurs, and we probably won't really, but I just find him to be an interesting talent.
I think
I don't know how good he can get.
When you've spent 2 years in a coach's doghouse, that pretty much tells you all you need to know.
Bo does have a very harsh and permanent doghouse, as we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, Triple J got out of it though, and that's why I'm a keep Triple J guy.
He's another good one. I can't. But the problem is, I can't imagine he's not part of a deal. Tyler Hero will be the centerpiece of
from what it sounds like, Milwaukee doesn't want Tyler.
Well, they're going to have to take him, Omar, because he's coming, and they can get that 13th pick too. That, by the way, this is a great NBA draft, so the picks are actually quite valuable in this year's draft. So it's not like a throwaway. And the other thing I found interesting too is like I saw someone said that this could happen after the draft, and that just makes no sense. Like, why would you want whoever you're going to be doing the deal with? Why would you want them to go ahead and pick a player for you? Right, like you want to do your own evaluation. Like I don't know who the Heat
and what happens if it falls through.
Pick.
Remember what wasn't there Kendrick Nunn? Wasn't there like a situation where the Heat were picking him for somebody else or I forget what it was, and it wasn't.
I think you're thinking of the UConn guard, Shabazz Napier. I think you're thinking of who they picked him for LeBron. Remember?
Yes,
that was the whole thing. Like LeBron wanted him, so they picked him for LeBron. So they could try to keep him, and LeBron's left anyway. So, yeah, I think that might be the other one you're thinking of. But, look, the Heat will get a good – well, theoretically will get a good player at 13. I don't know, necessarily if it'll pan out, but there are players that are that deep in that draft that, like, they can play, Omar. We saw these guys you'll recognize the names of guys at that point in the draft from watching the tournament. Like you will know the names. So I do think that he can get someone there, but it's time to mix things up. Now, again, I don't want to mix things up for the sake of doing it. We had Anthony Chang on a week ago and he made the point too. And, you don't want to go after, a Kawhi Leonard or one of these kinds of guys just to say that you did something. Right. And the Heat want to still have that flexibility in 2027. Should this go poorly here?
Sure.
2026.
How long have we talked about flexibility and selling it? Flexibility
I know.
The Panthers are doing. The Panthers said, "Screw that."
The Panthers did say, "Screw." They said, "F the picks."
And guess who's winning? Guess who's winning championships here?
Yeah. Look how well those picks did for the Dolphins. Look how well that worked.
The Dolphins had like 50 picks in the last draft, Omar. Come on.
Yeah, no, but before they, basically traded away their whole team for 13 draft picks. Listen, I am no longer an F those picks kind of guy. I'm also no longer a tank kind of guy. It really comes down to talent evaluation. And if you feel like Brady Kachuk can help you get better than the 13th, the whatever pick you have in the draft, so be it. And we trust your talent evaluation. The one thing I could tell you about the Miami Heat is, and this goes back decades. We're talking decades. We're talking Alonzo Mourning, and we're talking Ike Austin. The Heat have always had the ability to develop players, whether they got them in the second round, whether they got them at the G League, whether they got them, at NBA tryout. The Heat have found a way to find players that they want to develop, invest in, and they get them better. So I'm confident that they can build a team around Giannis if Milwaukee strips them bone dry. So I'm not really worried about that. The question is, will the deal get done, and how much more can Milwaukee want from you? Like literally, do they want your kidney too?
I'm curious what you think about this too. By the way, we talked about this last couple of weeks, and Jaylen Brown is a name that's kind of been bounced around here. And I think if you could offer me, if I had the choice between Jaylen Brown and Giannis, first of all, I don't think this choice is as clear cut. I know, Omar, you're making that face, but Jaylen Brown played at an MVP level last year.
He did.
One guy. I don't know. Look, I don't know what's going on in Boston. All I can tell you is, and Omar, you know Stephen A. Smith. I don't think, I know Stephen A. does a lot of stuff for theatrical purposes, but I also don't think that Stephen A. just makes crap up. I do think that he has.
Isn't he going to war with Jaylen Brown?
He did go to war with Jaylen Brown. That's what I'm getting at here, Omar. He essentially told Jaylen Brown, you don't want me to go and say what I know and
tell your business.
You don't want me to tell you what Boston, what the organization really thinks of you, and you don't want me to tell them what Jason Tatum really thinks of you, and all this like he's got all this crazy stuff that he's holding in his holster here should the war escalate.
Yes.
I don't know what's true, Omar.
And you could tell he wants to be free, set free. It
feels that way, right? It feels like Jaylen Brown is all right, I want a chance to be a number one. I won a championship. We've won here in Boston.
He was the MVP.
I want a chance.
You want to be a number one? Go to New Orleans. Go play for the Pelicans. Go ahead, Jaylen Brown. Be a big man.
But it does feel that way, and I don't fault the guy. He wants to be. Dan's waving his hand at him and shaking his head. If the guy wants to be a number one.
We've seen
go do it in Charlotte. You go be a big man, like Tyler Hero. Be a big man. Go ahead and do it in Utah. Be a big man.
But he's not going to be a number one in Boston as long as Jason Tatum's there. That's the reality.
Hold on, that's not fair because he was the Finals MVP, not Jason
Doesn't
Tatum.
Matter though. He's never going to be a clear-cut number one as long as Jason Tatum's there. You want to do one.
He's always going to be Scottie Pippen, right? Okay.
Maybe a little better, but he's still he's going to be at 1A, 1B at best, right? Because there's two guys there. There's another star there. Jason Tatum is a major star. So if he wants to go out on his own, if he's like, I'm James Harden and I don't want to play with these guys, I want to try this on my own. And James Harden went to Houston and started putting up all those monster numbers. Jaylen Brown will put up video game numbers wherever he goes.
Kyrie Irving did it too. Kyrie Irving wanted to be a number one. Can you guys believe he didn't participate in this in the celebration of the?
I was shocked to see that actually. Yes, because I figured he got along so well with everyone. I was shocked to see that, Omar. Yes.
So it's notorious that he just doesn't get along with anybody on any team. Is that what it is?
Kyrie Irving?
Yeah,
he's beloved by all of his teammates.
I don't know.
No, he's been liked by everybody.
He seems like a difficult person, like a very, very difficult person.
No, everybody's always spoken very well of him.
He did not make the trip though. We talked about that last week. He did not make they did like a reunion trip.
Telling stories and tales that now don't include Kyrie Irving.
No, how sad.
I don't even think he was mentioned on any of these tales.
I think this Benny on here, Omar, on our YouTube chat. Did you say bad things about Brunson last time you were on? Did you have bad things to say about him?
I don't think so.
Brunson put together. He had a great performance at the parade. He's had a great performance since the finals too, with the F Wemby toast, and The New York
Brunson
Knicks story is fantastic. It's been a
Brunson's been
lot
a
of fun
killer
to
for a
watch.
while, a long while. Brunson's been
Yeah, you talk
assassin.
about guys that are closers, man. And
Yeah.
Brunson, Brunson's a weird deal, right? Because it's like, do you call him a superstar? Yeah, I mean, he is,
Yeah,
right?
you got to. Yeah,
At
absolutely.
this point, you do, but man, he's kind of a quiet superstar.
I have a
He
confession to
blends
make.
right into his team.
I have a confession to make.
Yeah, what do you got?
I always knew his father played for the Knicks, and I knew his father coached for the Knicks.
Mhm.
I never like put it in my mind that it was the bench warmer Brunson, that of the Knicks Heat series million years ago. I never put it in my mind that it was like the 10th guy Brunson. Like I always I thought his dad was like more relevant than that. But then I saw the video of him training him as a young man. I was like, wait a minute, that's the bench warmer Brunson. Oh, the connection was made.
There you go.
He couldn't do it, so he made his son a star.
Oh boy. All right. Speak on that note. We have Chris Perkins going to join us in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll do some Dolphins, and we'll talk some Heat with Perk as well. Perk covered the Heat. He was there when I was there, Omar. He got the good years with LeBron in town, and so Perk was a big part of the Heat coverage then. And I always appreciate his opinion on the Heat. So we'll talk to him. Doug Plagans is going to join us. We've tracked down Doug Plagans here in the middle of the Panthers offseason because they are one of the big stories in sports right now. Maybe the story in sports as you get the brothers teaming up down here. Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk. If you're just joining us here, Brady Tkachuk, a member of the Panthers. And by the way, the NHL works quick. That thing went from like it's a rumor, it might happen, to it happened, and then we got a press release. Like that thing happened very, very quickly yesterday. So that deal is done. The Panthers make the move there. The Marlins pound the Giants over the weekend, get to a couple games over 500. We have that story going on. The USA soccer team continuing to play at a high level too, so they win. Dan, it was nice to see you at our party on Friday. My days are running together. Friday, we had our party out here.
Well,
And
again, I
what
wasn't
were we
invited.
doing out here, Dan? We were sitting out there. Let's see. We were eating steak from Wild Fork.
I was drinking cafecito from
Cafecito La
La
Llave was out
Llave
there.
in the 100-degree weather. It was awesome.
And then Hard Rock Bet showed up with a little bit of everything. They had what Hard Rock Bet had like coconut water and
We had that
out fresh out of coconuts. And all their giveaways. Chevy was out here.
UD was out.
Al Capone was out here. Who? Oh, Udonis Haslam was here. And if you're wondering, like, I talked about this with Joe last week about getting, UD to sign something for the kids. And if you're wondering, yes, I did. I did get it. I asked him to sign. They had a couple of Hard Rock Bet was giving out soccer balls. So I did. I got the kids some signed UD soccer balls, and he put their names on them. It was very nice of him to do that.
You couldn't even just bring a basketball, or you probably.
Well, I wasn't going to do it. I
mean, how's that going to look? Danny walking up with two basketballs in his arms, like
I wasn't going to do it.
Omar, like seriously, you're going to do that? I'm going to ask Omar a serious question. You're going to walk up with two basketballs in your arms and be like,
"You're talking about Hollywood. You're talking about Hollywood, who would stalk people at their coffee shop."
Usually I would, but
yeah.
I didn't stalk Jimmy at his coffee shop. I showed up when he showed up at his coffee shop.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
And if Jimmy shows up again, maybe we'll go over that. I still like Jimmy. I don't have the
I know you do.
Towards,
I know you do.
Towards Jimmy that Joe has.
I mean, is anybody angry at Jimmy still?
Yes, Joe is. Joe hates him.
Well.
I shouldn't say that while he's not here. But the good news again is that you're hearing the B team here this morning, but with that, I know Omar does not like that. But with that being said, all good things happen when Joe goes away in the middle of the summer.
Yes,
I imagine that the Heat will announce the honest deal in the coming days as well. So we'll take
I give it 36 hours. 36 hours.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Busy time here in sports. Omar, I got a number here about the NFL that I want to throw at you when we come back. I think this will get fans going here on this Monday morning here on WQAM. All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. Omar Kelly just might have fallen getting back to his. Do you hear that? That was quite a thud. I hope Omar surfaces here momentarily because I heard a big fall in the background there. Dan, I'm Hollywood. Dan Day is with us.
He's not back.
Blake
He's
is
not
here
back
with
yet.
us. There's Omar. Omar, I heard a thud back there, man. You all right?
Me? Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Good. Omar, I told you I had a good number for you.
Okay.
You know what is 80 days away today?
The start of the NFL regular season.
There we go. I'm glad you knew that, seeing as you need that season for a living, to earn a living. So,
I'm 4 weeks away from my freedom being over. Yes, yeah. I do keep a countdown.
So we got training camp around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
The college football season, by the way, is 67 days away. So that's like right around the corner as well.
What are we opening the season with?
They have week 0. They have the week 0 games. So those will be the earlier games. Miami's going on the road to California to play Stanford. And I'm not going to complain anymore about those West Coast games.
Yes.
I've been banned from complaining about
your
that.
President has told you, hey, this is a necessary evil.
It's happening. So
I got to tell you,
we'll caffeinate accordingly on those late nights.
That was such a good conversation by QAM and
with Joe Echeverria, the president of the University of Miami. Yeah, it was awesome. It really was. He had some very, very great stuff to say about not only the program but about college football as a whole, Omar. And I know you really enjoyed that conversation. You texted me like the second it ended.
It was such a phenomenal conversation that just helped you understand the landscape of college football, where college football is going. He even the gambling quarterback, I can't Sorsby.
Brandon Sorsby.
He provided perspective about it, and he's like, this is not an isolated incident. This is a new problem and a new landscape, and we have to address it. It was such a phenomenal conversation. I gained so much respect for him.
Yeah, he's the best. He is the best, and the job that he's done to get where it is now, and where they are now, Omar, is they are competing for national championships, and it's pretty cool to be able to actually say that, like, for real now, right?
Go back to it.
You'd have these seasons. You'd have a bunch of seasons in the past, John, 10 years where you'd go into the season there. They give Miami a little ranking and. They got the talent. They got, Miami could always recruit, right? They always got guys there. But
not as well as they should.
Never really felt like they were over the hump. And the Canes got over the hump last year in a big way. And some of those wins they were able.
It was 20 years in Siberia, 20 years in the wilderness.
It was. And that's why, maybe that's why it feels so sweet to be back, Omar. I mean, it was a long time coming, and the Canes, one of the favorites, of course, to get back to the playoff and potentially win it all.
Got one of college football's biggest and best quarterbacks, and are doing what it takes resource-wise to compete at the highest level, which is one of the conversations that he had. I think every organization starts with leadership. Every organization, every team, it's not even just sports. Leadership is so critical for the success of businesses, organizations, schools, teams. And when you have the guy at the top of the organization who not only has vision, but has a plan that he can execute, it breeds confidence. And that's what I have now in University of Miami. And thanks to that QAM conversation with you guys.
Yeah, that was a great interview, and to have President Echeverria come on with us, and happens to be, by the way, just the nicest guy you'll ever meet. And I think that's another part of it too, Omar, is people like being around him. He's a good guy to be around, and so the job that he has done over there has been incredible. I think his most underrated, maybe I know that college basketball is not on the top of everyone's radar in our market here, but the job
used to be
hiring. Yeah, well, no, I don't know about that either. But
yes, absolutely, it was number 2 behind the Dolphins.
College basketball?
Oh no, college. Oh, I thought you meant college athletics.
No, I know where college football stands, Omar. I know college football is 1A, 1B here in this town, but the job that he did in selecting and hiring Jay Lucas to that position at as head basketball coach, and selfishly, Omar, I how I feel about my college basketball. it's my passion here. My
It's
little
your thing.
outside of football, my passion. But yes, the hire of Jay Lucas and the job that he did in year one, so exciting, and just thrilled to have him back this year and see what he can put together here in year number two. But it is going well over there. But yeah, man, we are so close, Omar. It's today's the 22nd. So we're like 9 days away from July. My math probably not right on that, but somewhere in that ballpark. And mid-July, July 14th exactly, I will be taking flight, Omar, for Charlotte, where we will have the ACC media kickoff. And games will be the first day of that deal. We'll find out who they're going to bring. I would imagine they will bring QB1. I imagine they will bring Mario Cristobal. He has to go. So we will have those guys on the show from Charlotte. One of my favorite shows of the year. I love going to the ACC kickoff. It's a great event, and all the teams show up. Everyone goes around, does interviews with all the radio stations except for Bill Belichick. So it'll be nice, Omar, to get out there and see everyone.
So hold on, you're saying that Bill doesn't
Bill did not make his way around with the common folk. No, he did his press conference but also, if you remember, like last year was year one of his failed experiment. It was he was in the middle of a lot of crap with his girlfriend. Seems to just always like to stir the pot. So maybe things are calm.
His sugar baby.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe it's calmed down to the point where he realizes, hey, I'm one of, if not the worst coach in all of college football, and I'm going to go down and talk to the radio stations this year. So maybe we'll get Bill Belichick. Come on. I don't know how Joe would handle that interview, but
listen, it's a necessary evil for Bill Belichick if he wants to begin to recruit South Florida's high school athletics. And I'm being dead serious.
For what? Coming on this station?
Yes, absolutely.
Nobody's going to play for Bill Belichick, Omar. I'm sorry, man.
Joe's the gatekeeper. If Joe says it's okay, everybody.
It would be more of a comical, like a novelty type thing to have him on. I wouldn't really worry about Mario losing a player to Bill Belichick. Like, here's the thing: Bill Belichick he's like Tua. He's a part-time coach. You can't do it like that.
For one season. Don't judge Bill based on what he's done for one season. At one point, at one point, we were saying Bill Belichick's the greatest coach in football history on all levels. He's birthed the Nick Sabans of the world. Come on,
I don't know anyone who said that, Omar.
You're a liar.
Not down here. They weren't saying that.
You're a liar. Your nose is growing bigger. Sorry.
But I will say, I do think he's going to fail miserably. I thought from the beginning, it was a very strange hire. I thought this was like one of those hires where, you bring in the big name late in the career to try to get a little buzz and try to, like North Carolina to me is a good program. Like they don't need a clown show. Like
it's not a clown show. They're going to pay. No,
but you don't need a Bill Belichick to be your coach. You don't need Michael Lombardi over there.
You don't need the bet. Every team is hiring a GM now. Michael Lombardi has history as a GM in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly, Omar. That's the problem.
Hold on, wait a minute. Every team is replicating the NFL. It absolutely is. College football has become professional football. Let's not pretend.
Paying the players. Yes, I'm with you, Omar. But you don't. I think this is a bad hire from the beginning. I think last year showed how much of a mess it was, and I think this year will again show how much
it takes a minute to install your culture. Yes, it was a mess last year.
Okay.
But he's still Bill Belichick. He can still grow, gravitate, and develop great coaching staffs. The question is, can he do it for players? And I think one season isn't enough time to rebuild a franchise and make them respectable. Look what Mario did.
You would agree with this, though. The coaches are skewing younger in college athletics, right? The old coaches, are just they just don't want to play the game anymore. Like they don't want to do this stuff. The old school coaches. First of all, I think like the power dynamic in college football, right? I think the Dabo Sweeneys of the world love the fact that they held all the power. I think Nick Saban, guys like that, love the fact that they held all the power over these kids, right?
You're right. You're
all
correct.
The power over these kids. And
Well,
now,
times are changing, and
How old is
and
Kurt Cinetti?
that's a
Kirk's
great
oh
question.
yeah,
I don't know.
he's in his
That's,
60s.
I mean, it's a good question. You're talking about how
He's got to be
he's
like in his
younger. He's not a
50s.
young guy.
No, but he comes off as a young guy, doesn't he?
He
He comes off as a fun personality.
It's about coaching and mentoring and developing, and Kirk Cinetti is absolutely doing it in Indiana.
Yeah,
We cannot sit here and say
65 years old.
but that doesn't mean that all of them are bad, Dan. But he comes off as a guy who seems to relate better to younger players, right? I mean,
but you said it's
fun.
a younger.
Well, it is in general. It is a younger guy's game now.
The best coach in the game is 65.
You're seeing older, long tenured coaches
excellent point,
leave
Dan.
college basketball, college football. You're seeing these guys, leave. Not that it can't happen. I mean, I'm not saying that every coach has to be under 60, but you're seeing a lot of these coaches leave. And I do think a big reason for that, Omar, was that they lost a lot of their power. They don't have, like Nick Saban, you don't have the power to tell players what to do as much anymore, right? Because now you have to walk the tightrope. And well, look, again, I'm not here to say whether this is right or wrong. And, I don't want to, with a soft, not soft, like, you have to treat guys a certain way now.
Absolutely.
Because if guys get in their feelings.
But that's been in the NFL for I think the Jarvis Landry years is when it first started.
But it used to be. Remember in the day? We'll go back in the day, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And when you would transfer, it would be such a nightmare. Do you remember that?
Yeah. You have to you get clearance from the school, and if the school didn't want you to, the school make these rules. Yeah,
you can't transfer in the conference. You can't transfer in the state. You can't do this. You can't do that. Oh, and by the way, you need to sit out a year if you're going to transfer. They used to make it very difficult to transfer. Now it's like, oh, I'm not happy in the middle of the season. I'm going to go play for these guys, or you just switch wherever, whenever you want. And so if you don't treat these guys a certain way and guys get in their feelings, they get upset.
Absolutely.
They're going to leave. And like, again,
yes, you have to
I'm not here to say if the system is right or wrong. The system is flawed regardless, but that's just the way it is.
It's always been flawed. Don't do that. Don't do that, because
it's always been flawed in one way or another. Yes. And it always will be flawed. And it always will be flawed. There's no perfect system. Like, I don't know anyone that has come up with a 100% perfect answer and solution.
You know what's missing from college athletics? The players need to unionize, and they need to fight back properly, as opposed to always, they're winning in the court system, but fight for certain rights and benefits. And I'm glad that they're getting it, but they're getting it without a union. And now you need to be collectively bargaining, because you are just as big, if not bigger, than the NFL in terms of unionization and unionization power. So, go after what you want. Yes. The NCAA, the college teams are fighting back to eventually reel back your power and your freedoms.
All right, well, we're fighting back to a break here, Omar. We've run a little late here. Good morning, all of our YouTube family out here, everyone hanging with us this morning. The good news, folks, I know you're not hearing Joe's voice, but the good news is he's taking a summer vacation, which means
if you call me the B team, I
won't. But the good news is that the Heat are probably going to make a big announcement in the coming days while he's gone. So that's the exciting.
That is true. That is the history.
Plenty more to come here on QAM. Oh, welcome back in here on QAM on this Monday morning. We're in the middle of the summer here, and there's a lot going on. Dan Day, Dan Day, the host of a soccer program on the weekends here with Solana. Dan, we have Messi in action today, right? How many? What is the bet today? What are we looking at? Are we going 3 goals, 2 goals, 4 goals? What do you like today?
I give him
Dan?
a goal.
Just one.
I mean,
that's the record if he gets one, right?
It sounds like it's bad. Like, I mean, a goal in the World Cup is huge, but we're like, yeah, I'll just give him 1 goal.
Well, they're playing a better team today, though, right? Than they played in the first match.
I thought Algeria was a pretty good matchup, but you know,
I'm not familiar with all that much with the Algerian program.
Algeria is a good matchup.
Okay, fair enough.
Today they get Austria. Austria is a European team that, you know, of course they are used to playing.
They're huge favorites today, for whatever that's worth. They're minus 210. Austria is plus 650.
I mean, they're going to be huge favorites until they get into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so they're big favorites today. Messi, let's see here. Dan is minus 110 to score a goal, so even money on that. So that's seems pretty reasonable there. But that one is today at 1:00. So for all of you who have access to,
I mean, FIFA just doesn't care.
There.
Yeah, FIFA doesn't care. They put the USA at 3:00 on Friday. They put Argentina today at 1. Like,
FIFA's not worried about your American needs. FIFA's worried about serving the world, sir.
Right? No.
FIFA's
I understand
a nonprofit, Dan. They're a nonprofit. They're not here to make money. They're just here to play.
Yeah, they really just care about the beautiful game.
Yeah, advance the global game.
That's true.
That's their mission. Okay.
You're right.
Can you pay $80 to put your name on the scoreboard? Yeah, you can. But you know what? They're not here to make any money. Okay. By the way, I have seen a lot of rough stories from people that bought tickets on the secondary market for the World Cup. I don't know if you've seen any of those all over.
I have not.
But people are having a tough time who have bought tickets on the secondary market for this thing. And it's interesting because it looked like the tickets were going to plummet. Like it looked like they were in a free fall. And all of a sudden, like a week before these matches started, the tickets started to skyrocket in price. And so I think that's why a lot of the sellers of these tickets maybe had second thoughts on selling for those low prices.
You do have to kind of give a little bit of credit. Number one, all the games here in the United States have been packed to the Raptors. The games in Mexico and Canada,
not so much.
Not so much.
Okay.
Also, another thing is, every World Cup, there's some type of controversy about the fans and this and this. There's been no talk of that so far. So give FIFA in the United States at least a little bit of credit in this situation.
I'll give you United States credit, Dan, but I don't know about FIFA. What's up with Solana, by the way, your co-host on the Saturday soccer show? What's up with your co-host here? Because he's every time he goes to the matches, they tie.
He's hurt,
his
man.
Country ties, yeah.
Cabo Verde should not have been in that game yesterday, and they kind of were running the show yesterday.
Hey, man, don't talk about my team.
Hey, that's not your team. Stop that, Omar. You've never been to Cabo Verde in your life.
Cape Verde, yes. I think Cape Verde, I love it. It is on my goal to-do list. Most beautiful women in America, in the world.
Okay,
I met a couple this weekend in South Beach. They were not the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Omar was clapping about it like that was his home country there. So
listen, I root for all my African nations.
There you go.
So you're cheering for Côte d'Ivoire?
Yep. Absolutely. So is my dad.
Now, Omar, you are into have you gone yet? Did you go to any of the matches yet?
No, I haven't. But I watched Brazil and Haiti.
Goodness, that terrible.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Brazil's terrible, by the way. I don't care what people say. I love the New York Yankees of soccer. They're not that good.
Okay.
USA's ready for you. We're ready for you. And everybody's like, don't say that. We're ready for you. And they also, Rafino got hurt the other day. So good luck. I'll tell you right now, I'll take the field.
What is the name? Pulisic is
Pulisic.
hurt. Pulisic he's hurt too. So
they don't need him. The USA is so loaded, they don't even need him.
That's that USA arrogance. Showing up right there.
Yeah, and I have money on them to win it all, Omar. We're gonna get rich one way or another.
Did you do it?
I only put a couple bucks on it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fun,
Hell yeah.
But, I don't know about rich, but we'll be able to go downstairs and get a we'll get a burger. I'll treat you guys.
I spent a bunch of money downstairs last night. Whew.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dan's a party animal.
I'm trying not to be, but
I want to be Dan for 1 week. I want to be able to party like Dan for 1 week.
What's the nightlife looking like over there on
Omar's
a Sunday?
interested, Dan. He wants to know what's going on out here on a Sunday.
it depends. If you're hanging out with me, apparently it's pretty good.
There you go. You got to roll with Dan Day, Omar. He'll get you where you need to go. All right, we're going to take a pause. Perk is going to join us. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel will join us in the 7 o'clock hour. Doug Plagans from the Panthers will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. The Panthers are the top story in sports right now.
You sure?
How's that? You go on ESPN.com right now, and there's a story about some golf stiff that we don't care about. But then right under that is Brady Tkachuk coming to the Panthers. So, yes, in my mind, it is the number one story in sports. So we'll talk to Doug Plagans in the 8 o'clock hour.
I think Serena playing at Wimbledon in singles is kind of a big deal.
Not as big as this. So the Panthers get the Tkachuk brothers. They get both of them now. And they said, screw the picks. Screw it. We're going all in. And boy, this is how about the Panthers? How about that? We're sitting around here waiting for the Heat to make their splash, waiting for Giannis. This is gonna happen any day now. And the Panthers are like, well, just give us a little quickie here. We're gonna jump in here and take the Tkachuk brother and add him to our already loaded team. So how about that, man? The Panthers making some big news. The Marlins are rolling. We're gonna have Anthony Bender, one of the Marlins closer, is going to join us later on in the show as well. Omar, I got to show you a pitch that he's got, this sweeper pitch. I don't know if you haven't, I'm sure you haven't seen it, but
no,
you might have to punch his name into Twitter and see this pitch. And we're going to talk to him later in the show as well. So we got everything covered here for you today. We're going to take a pause at 7 o'clock hour is next.
been talking about it a lot this off season about Brooks and Brewer leaving.
All right, welcome back in on QAM. Happy Monday to everyone. Omar, you all right over
Omar,
there?
you okay, man? Omar.
Yes, I am.
All right. That's Omar Kelly who's making all that rumbling there. I am Hollywood. Dan Day is with us. Blake hanging with us this morning as well. Good morning to everyone. Dan, I like your weather report, by the way. It's going to be hot as heck out there again today. Man, it was, who cares about the heat, but it was hot this weekend, man.
Scorcher.
It was hot.
We did get a little rain, which is good for the forest fire.
I love people that complain about the weather here, man.
Yeah,
Go live in Wisconsin. Go have fun. Go live in New Jersey. Go have fun.
It is cooler there right
All
now.
New Jersey people this weekend. Man, I'm thinking about moving down here. I'm like, yeah, you are.
All New Jersey, giant wasteland, so obviously they would be. But nevertheless, we say good morning to everyone again. And
I went to the water park, the CB Smith Water Park, to celebrate my Father's Day.
You didn't invite me?
I know. I thought about it once I was there.
Father's Day. You're doing your own thing.
Omar's got me stuck on the grill out there.
No. I figured you were. I figured you were on your grill.
There now, I live down the street from that water park, and you didn't invite me. That was our place, Omar.
I know it was our place. I felt like I was cheating on you.
You were cheating.
I figured you were on your grill. They'd gotten you to slave over a hot grill.
They did.
As most men are ignorant enough to work on Father's Day. And I say this all the time. I say your wife could love baking. Your kids could love her pound cake. But I promise you, she's not going to be making a pound cake on Mother's Day. But yet they can get you to go on the grill and cook them meat that they'll tell you that they love, just so that you can labor on Father's Day and show them that you love them as opposed to they loving you.
Now, I will tell you, I think I'm getting better at this grilling thing. So that's one thing. And I semi enjoy doing it. I mean, it's fun. Like my grill is a little more simple. Like I have one of those wood pellet Traeger grills that, one of our texters here suggested that I get. And I love it, right? Because there's no risk of explosion from gas, which is a positive.
No fire.
The gas tank certainly scared me. There's a fire, but it's contained in the grill.
It's controllable, yeah.
And it's more of you kind of put the stuff on it and set it to low heat and just kind of chill, right? So it's a little easier of a process. But yeah, I do enjoy it. It's fun, and we had a nice day outside. It was hot out.
So you enjoyed doing your labor in the heat.
I did enjoy the labor.
I don't know how they brainwash you. I don't know how they brainwash you. And all of the male population, Father's Day becomes a grilling day. How about you grill on the 4th of July? How about you?
Relaxing though. That water park can be stressful, man. That water park.
It was relatively empty, especially early.
Really?
Yeah, nobody wants to celebrate fathers. Nobody's going to do anything for fathers.
1,000 degrees. I guess it's a good place to go when it's really hot out.
I bet you can go to any place for brunch, and not even have to wait in a line on Father's Day.
I am not a huge go out for brunch person though. I'd rather do the grilling than go out to sit at a brunch place for hours on end and watch the kids lose their minds. So I'm fine with what we did.
Maybe if I didn't get since I haven't been invited to the pool, you didn't get invited to the CB Smith Water Park. So I'm still waiting for my pool invite.
We're having a standoff here.
I'm still waiting for my pool invite. It's hot as hell.
Maybe it'll be coming. We're going to Universal Studios for a few days next week, so I don't know. It's not going to be coming this weekend, but that's what I like to do, Omar. I like to find the hottest days of the year and go walk around those amusement parks. That's how I enjoy spending my free time. Anyway, we have a lot going on in sports, fortunately here. The Panthers end up, I don't know how that came about. It was quick. They don't do the whole Brady Kachuk likes the weather in South Florida and he's, this and that. They just, the deal's done. So he's coming to Florida to join his brother, Matthew Kachuk, with the Panthers here. A huge move. The Panthers give away their their first round picks and just say, who cares about picks? We're going to try to win now. And the core is back together and then some for the Panthers, who just the rich get richer with this move that they made. And the Cats become again one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the Stanley Cup. So they will have a loaded team that they are going to come back with here, and should be very exciting. So we have that. The Marlins with a sweep of the Giants. They're continuing to roll. The Marlins are 2 games over 500, and we're almost 80 games into this season. How about that, man? A tip of the cap to the Marlins. That's really, really impressive stuff that they've been able to do over there. So the Marlins in good shape right now. And they got a 3-game series at home coming up here against the Rangers. And that's going to be it for a while. So if you want to get out to Lone Depot Park and see the Marlins, you probably want to take advantage of this series here with Texas in town. So that is coming up starting today.
What are my freebies?
Let's see here, Omar. Well, you got $1 kids tickets today. So if you want to bring the kids out, we got $1 tickets. It's also Bark at the Park if you'd like to bring your dog to the game. Now, I can't do Bark at the Park, Omar. My dog is a little skittish.
Not home trained.
He's not what?
Not home trained. Not trained to socialize with people.
No, he's fine. He's a shelter guy, so he kind of like reacts a little like skittish, I guess.
He's got nervous energy.
Yeah, he's a little nervous.
So he matches his owner.
He ends up fine after a while, but like he's a little skittish to start. So he's not a Bark in the Park.
So he matches his owner, correct?
Yes. I guess he does. You're right, Omar. So he's going to sit out Bark at the Park. But we got $1 kids tickets for the Marlins game tonight at 6:40 on Tuesday. Also at 6:40, you got the 2 for $25, 2 tickets, 2 12-ounce can beers at the Bullpen Bar and Grill. Sounds like a Dan Day type of date night there with the beers. So we got that going for you. It's also salute and serve. First responders receive 2 complimentary tickets. So that is active and retired military personnel, veterans, fire rescue, and members of the police department and healthcare professionals. So all of those people are entitled to a couple of tickets for that game on the 23rd. That is Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we get the famous 4 for 44, Omar. 4 game tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas or waters, and 4 small popcorns, all for just $44. So there you go. And then we'll pick back up in July with our giveaways here, Omar. We got on July 7th is when things get back rolling here for the Marlins. So if you want to see the Marlins before they head out on the road, these will be your 3 chances to do it. That game on Wednesday, by the way, is at 12:10. So you want to get the little day game in there. You can take the kids out of camp or whatever and go catch a day game, man. Those are fun. I love a good getaway game there. So that's what the Marlins have going on.
Dan loves him some day games.
Dan does love a good day game. Dan, we're gonna get over there. We're gonna get over there and do a class field trip one of these days soon.
Oh, yeah, man.
And,
those day games are great.
Day games, they really are. They are so easy. Like I like a game that's easy to get to.
Yeah, no traffic.
Oh my goodness.
Pull in, park.
Yep.
Walk in, walk out. No traffic out. It's beautiful.
There's a nice convenience factor with those day games there, for sure. All right, the Panthers make their big move yesterday, bringing in Brady Tkachuk. Doug Plagans, the voice of the Panthers here on WQAM. He will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to talk to Anthony Bender from the Marlins in the 9 o'clock hour, so we'll have both of those stories covered. And we're going to have Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel join us here in the 7 o'clock hour. 80 days, Omar. Just 80 short days until the NFL kicks off. I know your summer and your water parks and all that.
You're threatening me, man. You're threatening me with a bad time.
Training camp is in what, a month? We're about a month away.
Yes, we are exactly a month and a couple of days away. Yes, sir.
So we're a month away from training camp. We're about 3 weeks away, about 3 weeks away from me going to Charlotte for the ACC media kickoff. So that means college football season is around the corner. We have about 60, I think it was 67 days till college football season starts. So we have that going. And Omar, I got to tell you, there's a lot of interesting stuff around this Dolphins team, and I want to get to a couple of the things that you've written recently here before we get to Perk later in the hour. So we're going to take a pause. We'll talk some Dolphins football as the football season now just 80 short days away from kicking off, and a lot of interesting storylines, Omar, around this Dolphins team. That's not debatable. I don't know how good the team's going to be. That is debatable. But there are some very interesting storylines coming into the season. So we will discuss when we come back here on QIM.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it. Just
Welcome back in here on QAM. I see you on our chat there, K-Space91. He's fired up about this Panther situation here. That happened quickly. That escalated quickly, Omar. The Brady Tkachuk deal. Brady Tkachuk is coming to town to join up with his brother on the Panthers, as they are locked and loaded here for a comeback season, a little revenge tour here for the Panthers, who dealt with a lot of injuries last year. It just was not meant to be for them last year, but they have reloaded and they will come back healthy. Barkov is back, and Tkachuk, the Tkachuk brothers now are back. So this is what a fun run that is going to be to watch for the Panthers this upcoming season. Doug Plagans will join us in the 8:00 hour, the voice of the Panthers here on QAM, also a fellow Card nerd. So find out what his thoughts are on the Tkachuk deal. Find out what kind of cards he's been into these days as well, for anyone who cares about that. I'm setting up my own card table at the next card show here, Omar, the Hobby Card Show in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to be setting up a table with the boys here, so we're going to set up and see if we can't sell some cards out there.
What are you going to be selling?
I have a strategy. So I've been buying a handful of Cam Ward cards, and I feel, first of all, he is very big time undervalued right now in the card world, but I think that the Netflix show is going to help him very much. People will find out about him and see what kind of dude he is, and I think that will very much boost his popularity. I've also seen, by the way, every website that covers NFL football has him as like their breakout candidate for this upcoming season.
Absolutely.
So it's certainly possible that happens, right? They did put some weapons around him to help his cause. As we bring things back here to the Dolphins, and Chris Perkins is going to join us in this hour here, Omar, I think there's some very interesting storylines heading into this season. I really do. I think that the Dolphins have a chance to perhaps be a little better maybe than people think.
Better by how?
Better than maybe not the worst team in football, because a lot of the power rankings have them as that. There's certainly a chance some of these young players play well. There's a chance your quarterback ends up surprising people. Again, all these things are a chance. Your thoughts, like, do the Dolphins, can they surprise people this year and be a little better than the pundits seem to think they're going to be?
Absolutely. To me, it comes down to two things. One, how good is Malik Willis? I'm not sure we all know that yet. I can't tell you that I got a fair assessment of him just because there wasn't that much scrambling involved, and he's kind of one of those quarterbacks that relies on his athleticism. I can tell you he's got a strong arm. Is the accuracy where I would like it to be? Probably not, but he throws the ball well on the move. Obviously, we know Devon Achane is going to be one of the most dynamic players in the NFL this season, just because of the talent that he's shown you the past 3 years. However, I do believe that this season will come down to a lot of second and third year player development. How good are the Kenneth Grants and Jordan Phillips and Dante Traders and Malik Washingtons and even the Greg Dulcich? How good are those players going to be? I think if Jonas Savaiinaea, I think if a lot of them take that Patrick Paul-esque jump where they go from questionable fringe starter to absolute solid NFL future $100 million maker, I think you'll be in good shape. But that's a huge if and a lot of unknowns. But I put it more on those second and third year players more than I do this rookie class, because the rookies they're rookies and they're going to learn. They're going to progressively learn. Even the Chop Robinsons of the world, he falls into that category. If Chop Robinson's going to be good, and good not just as a pass rusher but as an edge setter, I think this Dolphins team has a chance to be respectable.
Well, that's the hope, Omar. The hope is that they can be in that
respectable category. Yeah.
Yeah. I want them to be competitive. I think that would be a start there.
I think they will be competitive. The line I believe is like 4.5, and I believe that every NFL team that's actually trying to win a game can win 4 games. That's just the way the system's set up.
Handful of texts coming in here. Omar, they're calling. This guy called you an idiot here. This came in at 7 in the morning on a Monday. Did that idiot say washed up Serena is more news than what the Panthers are doing? I usually, to be honest, guys, like I pick my battles with Omar. And
Wow. So Serena coming back and playing singles in the biggest tennis tournament in the world after how many years of retirement is not a big story?
I didn't say it's not a big story. And if Joe was here, he likes tennis a lot. Maybe it would be bigger
Come
news.
on, people. Serena's like the greatest female athlete of all time.
She is. She is.
How is this not a major story that she's coming back to competitive sports?
I mean, it's not on the front page ESPN right now.
That's the litmus test of everything, right?
And looks like we got an NBA trade here. We got Aaron Wiggins going from the Thunder. Let's see, 2 second-round picks. The Hawks going to the Hawks. So there you go. Trade in the NBA. I'm waiting on that Giannis trade, man. It's going to happen any day here.
Are you excited that Giannis could possibly play with Wiggins
down here?
Or is Wiggins just an afterthought to you?
I would say probably afterthought at this. They might include him in the deal, Omar. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you can't have everybody. So would you rather
can't have everybody? No, you cannot have everyone. But
I mean, I'm sure Milwaukee would try, but yes, you can't have everybody.
So we got Chris Perkins, who is going to join us coming up here in this hour. We'll talk some Dolphins football. We'll get Perk's take on this Giannis thing. Perk covered the Heat for a long time here. This is an interesting one, Omar. I think it's going to get done. I really do. I think the Heat have something good going in their favor here. Is that Joe is away, and every time that he goes away, big things start to happen. He wasn't even barely away a day, and the Panthers made a big splash. So we'll talk to Perk when we continue on here on QAM. So we're going to take a quick pause. We'll get all caught up. Doug Plagans, the voice of the Panthers, is going to join us in the 8:00 hour. So everyone who wants some information on this Panthers deal, we will talk to Doug and get his thoughts on everything. So we have plenty more to come here. A lot of stories going on right now. We will take a pause. Chris Perkins will join us when we come back. All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. Hope everyone is having a great start to their Monday morning. And we are going to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale, one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Toyota of Hollywood.com. As we are joined now by Chris Perkins from the South Florida Sun Sentinels, the Miami Dolphins columnist there. Perk, good morning, man. How you doing? How's everything going?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I'm down in San Antonio visiting family. Folks are still a little salty about the NBA Finals losing to the Knicks, but I'm good.
Perk, they play a dirty brand of basketball out there in San Antonio. They know that. That was, Wemby throwing elbows and stuff. They know they play a dirty brand of ball over there.
I can't say that out loud here, man. I'll get jumped. I will get jumped like a Spurs fan in New York City, so I don't say anything.
Perk, since we're on the NBA conversation, do you think that this Giannis trade gets done before the NBA draft? And if it doesn't get done before the NBA draft, what does it mean?
Man, I don't know what's going to happen with this Giannis trade. The rumors are out there, and they've been out there for a long time. Here's what I know. Bill Zito is a genius, right? I mean, now you got Brady Tkachuk. Who saw that coming to join his brother, Matthew Tkachuk? This is like the U.S. Olympic team, kind of, right? I mean, the Panthers do it again. That's the story if we're talking trade. So nice job with the Panthers. Good luck to the Heat and Dolphins. It's your turn.
Perk, Omar asked you about the Giannis deal. We had a big Panthers deal that went down as well, where the Panthers just continued to surprise people, and they said F the picks, and we're going to bring in Brady Tkachuk. That team, you talk about a team that's got a chance to make another run. They are going to be healthy and loaded when this thing starts in a few months.
Yeah, they are. And look, this is, again, Bill Zito, the GM, doing a great job, right? Seeing an opportunity. And look, I'm not a big hockey guy, but from reading the stories, Ottawa and Brady Tkachuk were both saying that they were fairly committed to each other after the season. Then recently I see that, they were fielding calls, but for Zito to get in there at that price, this just shows again. It's kind of, this is that moment for the Panthers. They had injuries last year. Okay, you take a break. Now you reload and you come back to make another run, to make your fourth Stanley Cup appearance, right? In 5 years, and try to win your third title in 4 years. Brilliant move by Zito and the Panthers. It doesn't ensure a Stanley Cup, but it keeps the fans excited and engaged and looking at Zito like, man, I'm glad we have this dude. So, again, great job by the Panthers. It shows that great organizations make great moves to stay great. That's what we're seeing here, right?
Yeah, and Perk, I want to throw one more at you, and I know Omar wants to get into Dolphin stuff with you, but I want to throw one more at you here. LeBron is another name that is out there. His career is potentially coming to an end. You covered the team with me down here when LeBron was here. What do you think of his next move here? Like, what do you think he wants to do to kind of cement the legacy? To me, it's painful to watch the guy go out like this, with this Laker team that is, they're okay, but you'd like to see the guy at least have some sort of run to end his career.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not sure where that's going to be. Does he go back home to Cleveland? I'm not sure if LeBron came here. Well, no, I'll say this. LeBron himself would not make this Heat team a contender. Now, obviously, if he comes here with Giannis, then that's a different story. Anybody who comes here with Giannis and Bam, that's a different story. But, LeBron added to this team is not going to make them a factor. I agree with you. I would love to see LeBron go out a champ, but that's that John Elway fairy book ending, right? The fairy tale ending, rather. You just don't see that very often. So I don't know what's going to happen with LeBron, but him coming here to the Heat, that wouldn't be enough alone to excite me. If he comes here along with Giannis, then you've got my attention. But just LeBron himself, that's not enough to get me going.
Getting back to the Giannis trade, Perk, I asked Danny this question earlier. If there was one piece that you got to keep and prevented it from being on this platter for that the Heat are offering up the Bucks, who would that player be?
Aside from Bam, maybe.
No, yeah, I mean, aside from Bam, yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh boy, I don't think there is anybody. I really don't.
You're like,
I mean,
you could have it all.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. Yeah. I don't think that I would restrict anybody. Quite honestly, I guess Khalil Ware, but he's got to be in the deal to make it work. So, yeah, there's nobody. Bring me Giannis. Bring me Giannis and give me Bam and give me Spo, and we'll ride it out from there.
Chris Perkins from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is with us. All right, Perk, let's jump into some Dolphin stuff. And
Let's do it.
You have your column about the perspective here on the scope of the Dolphins rebuild. It's a big rebuild. It's a full-scale rebuild. Yeah. And Omar and I were just talking about how good this team can be. Is there any potential here, Perk? You see the power rankings. We know they're the projected to be the worst team in football. Is there any chance that they end up surprising some people this year, playing a little better than perhaps the experts think?
Oh, definitely. There's a chance. I mean, look, right now, so let me start at the top. You guys know the win total to me is not the most important thing this season. The most important thing is making sure that Half is the right guy at coach, that Sully is the right guy at GM, making sure that Malik Willis is the right guy at quarterback, making sure your team has the right mindset and mentality. Having said that, I'm thinking if you make me take a win total, 5 wins, mostly because that's what Flo did with that 2019 rebuilding team, there's a chance they could win 7 games. Yeah, Malik Willis is better than we thought. Maybe Caden Proctor and Chop Robinson and Savai Naya and some of these youngsters come along better than we thought. Jordan Phillips and Dante Trader, maybe they develop a lot better than we thought. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's definitely a chance that they surprise us, but will they? I doubt it from a win standpoint. So, but I think that 5 wins is a good season. I could probably see them going over that just as easily as I could see them going under that. To me, 3 wins is unacceptable. 4 wins I could take, but I'm setting the bar at 5. And yeah, I think they could definitely surprise us in the positive way. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, Perk, because we both did our offseason superlatives. I don't remember who you named as your top performer for the offseason program, but I named Malik Willis as my player who needs to show the most improvement. While I did see some tools that intrigued me, I am used to the Tua Tagovailoa accuracy showcase, especially when there is no pocket, pressure in the pocket, and they could just throw the ball all day. And Tua is usually efficient when it comes to that. Malik showed that there's some work to do, and obviously the weaponry has a lot to do with it. But would you agree or disagree that he is in the area of where he has to show the most improvement for this team to have a good season?
Probably so. I mean, I named Patrick Paul as my player of the year of camp of the off-season program. I know they're not in pads at left tackle there, but I didn't see anybody getting around Patrick Paul. He's a brick wall there. But Malik, yeah, I would say so because, look, you know that I was not a fan of the Malik Willis acquisition. I thought they should have got Kirk Cousins as a bridge quarterback and then drafted a quarterback in 2027. Malik is not only important to the 2026 season, he's important to Sully and Half's reputation, right? He's their initial quarterback choice. He's not going to make or break them necessarily because if Malik doesn't work out, maybe they're around to pick another quarterback. But Malik has a lot on him, as a 5th-year player and first-year starter and kind of the face of the rebuild on a young team that doesn't put a lot of talent around him. They took Jalen Waddle from him, so to speak, by trading him to Denver. Yeah, he's the quarterback. He's got the most on him, I guess you could say, on and off the field. But I think there are units that are just as important as Malik Willis: wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive line, cornerback, that need to be good just as much as the Dolphins need Malik to be good. So I would say Malik as an individual, yes, but as a unit, there are groups that, to me, are just as important as Malik Willis.
Who was your pleasant surprise of the OTA programs? Who is the player that you feel like, oh man, he's going to have a solid season moving forward in 2026?
I wouldn't say surprise. I look at Jordan Phillips and Dante Trader Jr. Jordan Phillips, both fifth-round picks from last year. Phillips, the defensive tackle, Trader, the safety. These dudes are coming on stronger than I thought. I know everybody was more excited about Jordan Phillips than me last year. I was excited about Dante Trader last year. I think both of those guys have a chance to what I wrote was I think that both of those guys have a chance to be Pro Bowl kind of in that conversation, kind of like Patrick Paul was this year, right? That Patrick Paul wasn't a serious Pro Bowl candidate, but by the way he played last year, his second year, he will be this year, his third year. I think that's the same for Phillips and Trader. So I don't know if that's a most improved thing, but those are two of the youngsters that I expect to be impactful players for the Dolphins in 2026. And in fact, I would go as far as to say I would be mildly surprised if both are not impact players for the Dolphins next year.
All right, Perk, I'm going to throw one more at you here. Talk about impact players. We got a quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, who is been controversial, to say the least.
Yeah.
Any thoughts there, Perk? Do you make a run at that? I know our guy said they're always going to be looking to add quarterbacks to the room. Do you have any interest here?
If I'm the Dolphins, it depends on what I've seen from Quinn Ewers. And I think Quinn is a candidate for most improved player. I know Omar is high on Quinn and the whole no competition thing that we can or we can sidestep that or we can get into it. But if you don't know how Malik Willis is going to be, and if he is, by say game 10 or game 12, if he hasn't delivered the goods, maybe you do want to take a look at that next quarterback. Maybe you do think that next quarterback could be a guy. So if you think Sorsby could fill that role better than Ewers, yeah, if it's a second round pick in the expansion draft, yeah, or the supplemental draft,
second round,
yeah, right. But second round, yeah, look, if you're serious about that, we take a quarterback every year type of mentality, and Sorsby is out there, and you're not confident in Ewers, then yeah, roll the dice, take a chance on him. I think Ewers is a good backup. Is he a potential starter? I'm not convinced about that. That's the other thing. If you think Sorsby is a potential starter, but you haven't seen him, at least you've seen Ewers, from Sully and Half standpoint in an off-season program, and NFL-wide, you saw him make 3 starts. You have a better feel for how he'll be in the NFL. But yeah, if you have conviction, and I know that's kind of how this regime works, right? If you have conviction, whether it's Caden Proctor over Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain, or bringing in Malik Willis or whatever, we've seen convicted moves. If they have that, I would put my trust in them on this particular move, and I'll leave it to them. Go for it. Yeah, but I definitely would not rule it out. If they feel it's worthy, 100% go for it.
Here's my thing about Sorsby, and I'm curious to get your take, Perk. The NFL has a very hard and firm line on gambling. It is absolutely not tolerated. Same thing with the college level. Sorsby is a violator of this rule. In fact, gambled on his own team. Do you really think that the NFL is going to have open arms wide open and say, come, baby, we'll take care of you, and not have any concerns about gambling? Because gambling is an addiction. It's not something to say, oh man, I had it in my past, but I'm clean now. Gambling is an addiction. We've always talked about that. Do you really think that this guy is just a no worry, no concern kind of prospect?
He's a major concern. Major concern. No, I agree with you. Gambling is an addiction. But that's what I'm including that when I say if the Dolphins are convicted, go for it. The NFL's standpoint, this dude has to be watched because that is, that is one of the biggest offenses you can commit in sport is to gamble. And then if you gamble on your own team, oh my goodness, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing these scandals all over the place. So, but that's part for the Dolphins. That's part of being convicted about Sorsby. As far as the NFL, this is going to be an interesting one to watch because, there's going to be people yelling stuff at him. There's always going to be suspicions if he plays in a game. It's going to be as tough to deal with image-wise and PR-wise as it's going to be to deal with in reality to make sure that he's not gambling. So it's going to be a touchy subject all the way around. I don't know if Sully and Hap are prepared to take on that additional burden when you're still trying to get Malik Willis to play and it's the first year of the rebuild. You're adding on to your burden, but again, if you think he's worth it, go for it. But the league has got to be scared about this dude.
Oh, Perk, I'm not scared. I'd do it. I would take a swing at it here, and I guess worst case scenario, the guy puts in a ton of bets, and you got to cut him loose. That would be right.
And then say goodbye to your second round pick.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Hey man, we gave up a second for Josh Rosen. Right? I mean, so
That's
it wouldn't be
true.
the first time. All right, Perk, thank you. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your trip. Sorry to bother you out there, by the way. Thank you for coming on.
Stay safe in San Antonio.
Y'all got me up. I'm about to go to the gym and be productive. So I thank you, man. I'll check in with y'all later.
All right, Perk, thank you. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel, kind enough to join us out there in San Antonio. They play a lot of dirty basketball out there in San Antonio. We're going to take a pause. The 8 o'clock hour is coming up next. We're going to have Doug Plagans from the Panthers join us. The Panthers making some massive news yesterday. Brady Tkachuk joining Matthew Tkachuk as the Panthers, they are swinging for the fences.
Who's the older Tkachuk?
Who is the older Tkachuk? That's a great question, Omar. I didn't look at their ages. Doug Plagans will know that, though. I can promise you that. And he's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. We will take a pause. Doug joins us in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to have Anthony Bennett from the Marlins in the 9 o'clock hour. So a couple of the great stories in sports right now. We're going to cover them in the coming hours here on QAM. Oh, welcome back in here. Hollywood, Omar Kelly, Dan Day along here with you. Omar rumbling as usual here. Omar, man.
Are you kicking chickens today,
Omar,
dude?
What's going on here?
Every break you come back.
By the way, Omar, Matthew Tkachuk is 2 years older than his brother Brady. Since you hit me with that, like this is it's just some kind of trivia show. There's your answer. The Panthers, if you are just waking up, made a monster move yesterday. Brady Tkachuk is coming to town. Panthers gave away their first-round picks, so we don't need those. We're going for it all once again, and now the core is back together just with another Tkachuk in the mix here. So Brady Tkachuk is down here now with the Panthers. That is official, by the way. That is 100% done. I have never seen a trade move quicker than this thing moved. This press release came out at 7:30 last night. That's how quick this deal went. Like a couple of my buddies started sending tweets in the middle of the afternoon yesterday, and they go, "Oh, it might happen. And then it happened, and now it's done." So the Panthers get Ottawa captain Brady Tkachuk, of course, from Team USA as well. So the Panthers have like the two of the big faces of USA hockey on their team as well. And boy, they are ready to roll here. Joe is out this week, so there's a good chance more good things happen, as every time he leaves, he goes on vacation, something big happens, usually good. Sometimes it's been not as good, but this one is a big move here for the Panthers. And
did LeBron leave once Joe was on vacation once?
Yeah, everything's happened while he's been anything that happens in the summer, like with NHL or NBA free agency, Joe has been gone. So Dwayne leaving, Dwayne coming, LeBron
resigning.
Yeah, it's all been while he's been gone. So I expect Giannis to sign in the next 4 days because he is gone. So that's what I expect to happen here. With the NBA draft coming up around the corner here, I do expect this to get done before the draft. Like, I can't imagine Milwaukee's going to want these teams to make these picks, and the draft is tomorrow, Omar. So hopefully this gets done here within the next day or so. I don't see Milwaukee wanting the Heat to make their pick for them. I also don't think, you could do a deal like where Milwaukee's like, hey, we're going to figure this out. This is the guy we want. Like, can you take him and hold him? And so I don't see that happening. The other thing, too, is this is a very good draft. This is a deep NBA draft. So teams are going to get some top tier players here in the top, 15, 20 picks. Like, there are some really good players in this NBA draft. So I think the Giannis thing will happen hopefully in the next day or two, I guess, leading into the draft. So we shall see, Omar, but usually these things happen while Joe is gone. So we have that working in our favor here at the very least. So the Panthers make a monster move. The Heat are working to make their monster move. The Marlins continue to win. They're a couple games over 500 now, and that story is fantastic that they're able, with the amount of money they're paying, that we are now almost 80 games into the season. Right? This is not a small sample size anymore. We're just about at the halfway point of this thing here. The Marlins are playing some good ball. We knew Joe told, gave us a little preview with the Giants coming to town, how ugly this could get for them. And the Marlins got 3 more here at home against Texas starting tonight at 6:40. WQAM is your home for Marlins baseball. So we will have that for you right here. 2 6:40 games and then a 12:10 getaway game on Wednesday. They have all sorts of great promotions for the games coming up, including you got tonight with the $1 kids tickets. You got the 4 for $44 on Wednesday. There's just a lot of stuff going on here over the next few days. So if you have not been out to a Marlins game, this is a good time to do so. And go out and enjoy the ballpark, Omar. And they'll have that roof up there. So hot, rainy, whatever it is, they will play. You don't have to worry about any delays or any uncomfortable weather out there at Lone Depot Park.
Yeah, I wonder how often do they open up the roof?
I'm gonna guess this time of year with this weather, probably not very often, unless it's a like a cooler night. But I think the other thing too is I think the rain is very unpredictable down here in South Florida, as we've learned from living here for a little bit.
Yes.
My new dude Nathan works there. He says there's a checklist of 7 things that need to all be checked for them to open the roof. So it's very rare.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, you got to make sure there's like no weather anywhere close, right? So, because I'm guessing, Dan, I don't
can't handle a little bit of rain. Yeah.
No, they don't play in rain. But
that's why you have a roof.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So why didn't we just make it with a roof instead of a retractable roof? Kylie could have saved us like $400,000.
This is why people get upset with you, Omar.
Why?
I just want you to know this. This is why people get upset.
I mean, I'm a tax-paying Miami person.
They say mean things about you. I pay taxes in Broward now, so I don't care. That's your problem.
Yeah, but you paid for the stadium. Don't forget about that. You and your brick living.
I fronted the money for the stadium while I was living in Miami, but now I'm in Broward, so I don't have to pay the bills anymore.
I mean, why do we have parks all over the place so they can embezzle as much money as they possibly can? Omar, come on.
Park's done, Omar. It's not going anywhere. Okay, they're not putting the Orange Bowl back. They're not taking the park down. The team's not moving. Like, it's done. It's over. So either enjoy it or you can be salty. Those are your choices. I hope that you enjoy it because it's there and it is not going.
Those are words to live by. Enjoy it or be salty.
Yes. Speaking of which, the World Cup rolls on here. We got Messi in action today. Dan has told me that to bet Messi to score 3, right? Is that what you said earlier?
One.
Oh, okay, 1.
Come on.
Minus 110.
Hat tricks don't grow on trees.
Well, for Messi, they seem to. If he gets 1 today, he gets the record, right, for most World Cup goals ever. So I got to think he scores at least 1.
I gotta know.
And his team, literally, the second they get the ball, looks for him. That's all they do is turn their heads and look for him. So, you might get a goal today.
Dan has sold me on that bet. I still have a bonus bet on there from we had the event at our station over on Friday. We had a great event out here. Thank you to all of our team who put that on. But that was a lot of fun. A little soccer watch party. And the USA winning again, man. USA looks like they got a little swagger to them.
Out here flexing some muscle, some American muscle.
You got to feel good. First back-to-back wins for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup since 1930.
Now, I got to ask you this, Dan, because you host the Saturday soccer show with Solana. And I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I'm not sure how much Solana knows about international soccer.
A lot.
Because, well, I'm questioning that right now.
I would make Solana the authority.
Here's the thing. Solana told me USA had no chance to win the tournament.
Ooh.
That's what he said. I said, Solana, listen, I'm considering betting this. And, he goes, no chance. Absolutely no chance. Now, to me, the USA are probably the favorites, Dan, as far as I can tell from the limited amount I've watched. So I just, Solana, I don't know what was he thinking here, giving the USA no chance?
I mean, seems like they have a better chance than his beloved Uruguay.
Oh, Uruguay might not make it out of the group.
A very bad job against Cabo Verde yesterday.
Too many ties, man. We need to do something about ties.
Well, it's okay. When you get to the knockout round, there's no more ties.
Shootout, baby.
I am not a tie person. I don't like that you can bet ties.
Not a very United States thing is ties. No.
It's just like it feels like anti-American too to bet on a tie.
Why are we?
My friend Gus, though.
What are we doing?
My friend Gus has been parlaying ties and winning thousands of dollars.
They said if you would have parlayed, there was like 4 ties in a row on that one day.
He did.
Yeah, if you would have parlayed those, it was like you turned like $1 into $1 million.
Yeah, he made $4,000 in one day off of like $100 bet off of those 4 parlays. Yeah,
that's almost worse than betting the under. Like I try very hard to never bet unders. Right?
Yeah, because you start cheering for a tie and all that stuff. It's weird.
They say life is too short to bet the under. It's not fun. Like I don't like sitting there watching a game and rooting for teams to not score. Like that's just like you watch a basketball game and guys are out there laying bricks and it's like, you're rooting for that. Like, I can't do that.
I think you turn into Brandon Sorsby.
When you bet unders, you just don't watch the game, right? You just look at the final result. I guess.
But I won't play. Like if I'm not watching, if I'm not invested in the game, I probably won't play either. So but anyway, the World Cup continues on here. And we have Messi playing at 1:00 today. So a little matinee action in the World Cup. All right, Doug Plagans from the Panthers is going to join us in about 20 minutes from now. Looking forward to this. I always love having Doug on. Unfortunately, there was no playoff run to really have Doug on a lot through the end of the run here, but he is going to join us because the Panthers are in the news, and for good reason, man. The Panthers made a massive move yesterday, and you talk about a team that is all in. Man, the Panthers, not only were they all in with their core that they had returning, but they are really all in now with Brady Tkachuk joining forces with his brother Matthew Tkachuk. What a cool story, man. What a cool story. So we'll talk to Doug, and we will find out how he thinks this will work, how this will look when this is all said and done and the Panthers finally take the ice. And Doug is a fellow Card nerd, so I'm going to ask him what he's been ripping here these days. So he will join us. Anthony Bender from the Marlins is going to join us in the 9 o'clock hour. Another great story down here in South Florida. So we got a lot of good things going on. I'm going to tell you about something that is really good that is going on, and that is that DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. And yes, that means you, Florida, the whole world is watching one tournament right now: group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time, heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. And it is right here in Florida. The world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code 1043WQAM. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That is code 1043WQAM. Again, use code 1043WQAM in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year, ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Hi. Did you make it to work yet? glad. Hopefully it wasn't too bad of a drive. Okay. Mhm. Sorry about this morning. What? So is it, it's not the end of the month, so you don't have to do major bookkeeping. So it's just filling orders and things this during this stretch. Okay. Well, I hope you have at least an easier day. I do want to say thank you for spending time with me. I definitely enjoyed looking at you while you slept. And what did you say? No, you are. You're very beautiful when you sleep. You are absolutely very beautiful when you sleep. And I love the way you make my bed smell when you're gone. I'm sorry that we could not finish what we started.
Heavy delays continue in Miami-Dade. The traffic report is brought to you by the casino in Dania Beach. The Dolphin Expressway eastbound beyond 137th Avenue to Northwest 87th Avenue. Also dealing with an accident this morning in Miami-Dade on Florida's Turnpike southbound as you approach that ramp to Kendall Drive, affecting the off-ramp center lane. That's traffic. I'm Alia Escobar on FM 104.3, and you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Not too bad.
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. Hope everyone is having a good Monday morning. Hollywood, Omar Kelly, Dan Day along here with you. Omar, how you doing out there? You all right?
I'm good, bro.
Good. I know you were a little bummed on Father's Day, us having to do all the work. You said I'm getting there, so I'm working. I keep working, but
I refuse to man a grill on Father's Day, and all the fathers who they brainwashed and made them think that it's your duty to man a grill on your day. That's very sad and disappointing.
Well, I enjoyed.
Would you cook at least?
Relaxing, as long as it's relaxing. What did we have yesterday? We had a little steak, some salmon.
Okay, Sam, did you put it on the wood on the
wood grill? Yeah.
No. Salmon should be on wood planks so that they can get the wood flavor when you put it out there on
wood planks in the grill.
Yeah. You cook it on
that I'm not familiar with. I just tossed it on the grill.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about your wood planks. I feel like wood would not be ideal with all the fire that's popping around in there, but
no, it takes on the flavor of the wood. You're supposed to soak the wood. It's like special flavored wood, and you're supposed to soak the wood, then put the salmon on, and then let
I would need somebody else to confirm this before I put it.
Wow. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube and send it to you.
No,
just so that I
I trust our listeners here, Omar. Like, I don't know, man. You putting wood in the wood grill, like it doesn't sound right, but maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
It's just like the same thing as wood chips. I mean, I know you're a pellet grill man now, but some of us are still old school. So,
K-Space grilled yesterday, he says on here, burgers and dogs at the pool, lunch and dinner, all you can eat Japanese buffet in Pompano off US 1. I don't know that I've been to that one. I have recently, now that I've been up in the Broward area, Omar, I have gone back to our old stomping grounds.
Shinju.
Yeah.
Dude, I mentioned that place when I'm out about in Broward and people go crazy.
Which one? Shinju?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, man. It really is. The problem I have with that place is, so I'll go for like, I like to go.
There is no problem with that place, sir.
Well, it's a good problem, I suppose. But like, I go for lunch, and the
Yeah.
last time I went, I didn't eat dinner or breakfast the next day. I
Yes,
was
sir.
so full. Like that thing, like that's usually, what does it cost there? Like it's less than $20 to eat there. And that is usually a 24-hour fast after that.
You could like eat your weight in buffet style sushi. Yes. If you are a sushi connoisseur, and it's so good. It's so good. And then they've got all kinds of Japanese food. We're doing a commercial for Shinju. There's actually a good one too on I think it's 183rd by Old Lita Park. I can't remember what the name of it is. There's like a movie theater over there.
Yeah, but the one like near Sunny Isles.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. That one's really good too.
Yes, it is.
That one is good. The pro move at those places, and not that anyone cares. You go and you ask the guys that are making the sushi, ask them for the hand roll, and they'll make it for you right at the sushi bar there.
Wait, did you say go ask the guy for a hand roll?
Yep, exactly.
Well, you got to be careful with that one.
Don't turn it bad on me, Dan. It's not Friday yet.
I'm just saying, be careful.
But that's the pro move over there. You go do that next time, Omar. Go ask him for one of those and see what he gives
I'm
you.
asking a man for a hand roll. I don't even
see what he gives you. All right.
No.
Someone said there's a Shinju in Miami, Sunset and 87th Avenue.
That's so far.
Not do. Yeah, that's a 24-hour special there, Omar. So those usually they take a little time to digest.
Yeah, you put me onto that spot in Brickell too. That was a nice date spot for me for a little hot minute until they went.
Hated that place. That place was not good.
Oh, come on. You hated that place?
I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been down there since we moved. Like, I haven't been down there in a year.
You didn't hate that place. You loved that place, and you put me onto it. It became a major date spot.
It would take so long. It was the slowest place. And they would try to do that intentionally because they put you on a timer there.
Oh, no. I was never on a timer there. It's just that
you are.
Really?
Try it. Like, go. I have no idea if that place is still there. I don't remember what it's called. But if like a lot of these places will put you on a timer.
See,
so I went
what I liked about that
spot,
about
the timer the hard way.
What I liked about that spot is you ordered it like it was a regular restaurant. It wasn't a buffet where you can get up because you can't take a girl to a buffet date. It's kind of tacky.
I don't think you should take a girl to an all you can eat anywhere. Like, I don't think
if she likes to get down, you can.
So my wife is really small. You see my wife.
Your wife is like a buck. Yeah.
She is not the kind of person that gets her money's worth at a buffet. Like, if they charge her the kids' price,
me on a buffet date.
Yeah, like if they gave her the kids' price, maybe she could get her money's worth. But like she's not like buffet material.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're losing money unless I'm able to eat for two. Like, you're losing money by taking her.
That might be my new rule with dating. If you're buffet material, you might not be me. You know, I'm a skinny guy myself, so that I can say
that's true.
I don't know, sir. I just don't know that like going to a place where the food is never ending is really any sort of good situation for a date, right? Because then, like, as the guy, like, you know, you still want to eat a normal portion.
You're wolfing it down.
Yeah, but you don't want to be burping up sushi the rest of the night. Or, you know, whatever, and you don't want
to see it's good for lunch. It's
her like put on a performance at this thing either. Like, I just don't think it's a great idea, Omar. I think you need to go somewhere where the portions are already set for you if you're going to do a date. Just my humble opinion. Not that I haven't been on a date in a long time, but
you take your wife on a date all the time.
Yes, but I
No,
also can eat at a buffet in front of her and
I was gonna ask-
embarrass myself, and it's
Dating-
gonna be okay.
when was the last time you went on a real date? It's probably been 20 some odd years.
No, he goes on the real
We
dates all
go
the time.
out. I mean, like
No,
we
no,
do
no, no.
stuff,
A
like,
real
where I
date with
where I was
someone that
trying
you
to
don't
woo
know
someone.
very.
No,
like-
it's been a
Oh.
very, very, very long
A
time.
real
That's
date.
why. That's why. Like, if it ever came to that, I'd probably be out of the game, Dan. I mean, I'd have Omar to.
You'd
help
have to get back in. You'd have to get back in. Human
Yeah,
nature.
Yeah,
game.
don't ask for my help,
I'd
please.
be out of the game for a while. That would be like an Achilles injury for me. I'd be out of the game for a while. We're gonna get back into the game with Doug Plagans, and we're gonna stop talking about Chinese, Japanese buffets or whatever here. We are gonna talk to Doug Plagans. Heat Colt said Golden Corral. I've been to Golden Corral like a few times in my life.
Golden Corral doesn't even come close to Shinshu.
No. Shinju's on its own level. It's
Yeah.
it's an elite buffet, no question. You have like Shinju, and then like the next level up would be like those Vegas buffets where it's like $100, to sit down at like the
Yes.
whatever, like Cosmo or the Win, or I don't know, one of those play whatever they.
Yeah,
We went to
Win.
them
I
last
walked up to
time.
Win and I was like, "Oh, we'll get the buffet," and they're like $120, and it's an hour long wait. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
never mind."
We went to one the first day we got to Vegas, which was such a dumb idea. We were sick like the entire trip after that because again, if you're spending $100 for a buffet,
You
got to go to work, right?
Yes.
You can't feel like you just ate $50 worth of food. You're like, okay, I am stuffed. I feel like crap, but you know what? I'm about $20 worth of crab legs too short here. So you know how it goes. Anyway, we got to take a break. The Panthers made a huge move yesterday to bring in Brady Tkachuk. We're gonna bring Doug Plagans in, and we are going to talk to him about this move and what else the Panthers might have coming up here in the days and weeks leading into the draft. We will talk to the voice of the Panthers, Doug Plagans, when we come back. Welcome back in here on WQAM. We're going to jump right out here to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale, one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com as we welcome all you back in here. Hollywood Omar Kelly, Dan Day along with you. And we're going to be joined now by the voice of the Florida Panthers here on WQAM. Doug Plagans is with us. Doug, it's good to talk to you, my friend. How you doing?
Doing great. Great to talk to you guys as well. How you been?
Great, man. We have been great, and I know it's been a little bit of a quieter, off season for the Panthers here. They didn't have their run this year, but Doug, I just to quickly look back at last season. So many injuries, and it's just you can't do it every year. You can't make the run to the final every single year, but the core is still together. But you look at last year, and just too many injuries kind of started to pile up on everyone, and it just felt like the team kind of ran out of gas there.
Well, that was kind of the story, and they held in there as long as they possibly could. And we all follow this team. And, you look at the Winter Classic, for example. I think the Panthers at the end of the day there were only a point or two out of a playoff spot. But then, of course, you had the Seth Jones injury that happened, and then you just had the wear and tear continue to pile up as things went along. But at the same time, nobody ever wants to miss the playoffs, and nobody wants to lose games and things like that. But I think if you step back and you looked at the big picture, you saw a team that was incredibly battle tested, and you saw a team that had won the previous two Stanley Cups. And sometimes you have to remind yourself that there are 31 other teams out there trying to do the exact same thing. And the fact that the Panthers have had the same success that they've had is pretty amazing. And we also all knew, just by looking at the contracts and the ages of the core players and everything like that, that this team was going to be right back in the contending mix, knock on wood, assuming everybody's healthy come training camp. And right now, hopefully in position to have everybody ready to go, including maybe a guy ready to go that we didn't know was going to be part of the fold up until yesterday.
Yeah, how about that? The Panthers make the move to bring in Brady Tkachuk. They say, we're not worried about picks. We want to win right now. Doug, this front office continues to make, a masterful move after masterful move, and puts this franchise in a position again. Now, they're one of, if not the favorites, I would think, to win the Stanley Cup this year. And, they have the little extended off season here. Everyone's healthy. You saw Barkov, he's playing again. But how about this move? A team that just says, hey, we want to win now.
Well, a couple things on what you said there. Proof once again that Panthers general manager, president of hockey operations, Bill Zito, is always 2 or 3 steps ahead of all of us. As far as constructing this roster and having it ready to go for the start of a season. But this is a move, and of course, as the days go by, we're going to hear from all sides involved on it and hear more about it, and we're going to hear everybody in the world break this thing down. But at the end of the day, yesterday, after the trade was finalized, you're looking at it thinking, okay, the Panthers have the best top 3 forward lines in the National Hockey League. There's no disputing that whatsoever. Again, knock on wood, assuming everybody is healthy. And I would imagine part of what we're going to, and obviously I'm sure no doubt attractive to Brady Tkachuk to play for a team that wins and play for a team that his brother's on and all those kind of things. But, I think at the end of the day, you're also going to probably hear a similar tone to when the Panthers acquired Matthew Tkachuk, in that when you have the opportunity to go out and get a very unique player like Brady Tkachuk, you do what you need to do to make it happen. And the way that he plays, that he's going to fit in the system, that he's going to fit in what Paul Maurice is trying to do. And again, when the Panthers, let's not forget the fact that 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick, yeah, that's a high price tag to pay for any player. But to go out and get a guy like this who was a captain in Ottawa and is a huge point producer and a unique player in what he's able to do outside of the things that show up on the box score, very similar to his brother in that he plays with that emotional edge, and he brings that leadership, and what you're going to get as far as Brady's tenacity and his intensity and competitiveness and all that every single night. This is as unique a player as there is in the league. And when you have a chance to go out and get a guy like that, you do what you need to do to make it happen. And fortunately, the Panthers had the assets to do so.
Let me ask you this question, because we see it a lot in the NFL and NBA. A lot of times these massive trades, they have people pulling the strings behind the scenes. Was there word that Brady was on the move, or was there word that he wanted to reunite with his brother? How does something like this come about, and especially for a steep price? Because I know I don't know much about hockey draft picks, but 3 first-round picks in a second, that seems kind of steep.
Well, to look at it from the draft pick perspective, I think there's a couple of different ways to size this up. And, a little bit different if we're drawing a parallel to, say, the NFL and the NBA draft. In those leagues, a lot of times you're drafting guys to address specific needs at that time. And in the NFL, you might know you need O-line depth, and you can go out in the 5th or 6th round and you can address that and get a guy who might be able to provide you depth on the offensive line throughout a season, something like that. You're drafting a lot more for immediate need in those leagues. In the National Hockey League draft, you're drafting 18-year-olds, and a lot of these guys, outside of maybe your top 3, maybe your top 5 in an extremely, a year that would be the exception, outside of your top picks, outside of your, players like, if you look back in Panthers history, Aaron Ekblad played right away. He was mature enough to do so. He was also coming into a situation where maybe there was necessity as well for him to do that. And Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, these kind of players step in and they play right away. Most of these guys do not. So in the Panthers case, you've got a team where so many of your key players are in the, entering the prime or right in the primes of their career. They're signed for the next 5 to 7 years. You have an extremely open, competitive, contending window. You've already won a couple of Stanley Cups, so you know that the ability to accomplish, the ultimate goal is there. So to be able to go out and make a move like this, get a guy that's going to help you right now, that to me is, the most important thing. It's not to undervalue those draft picks, but in the National Hockey League draft, a lot of times those players are, 2, 3, 4 years away. So if you have a team that's ready to compete right away, that is in a championship window, and you have a chance to add a player like this, it just makes total sense to do so. As for, conversations behind the scenes, like I said, I have no insight as far as that goes. If we're being totally honest, I mean, I haven't even really been, out and about since the trade was made. It happened last night, and we're just getting our day going here today. And I'm sure we'll find out as the day goes on today and the day goes on tomorrow, the more about just, everything that went into making this deal happen. But, if we're looking at it, just analyzing it here on the, day after the trade was made, I think if you look at it from both sides, the Panthers wind up with, an all-star forward, a top player, and now they have the 3 best forward lines in the league, and most of their lineup returning, and a lot of guys who've been a part of championship squads, a couple of times in recent years. And Ottawa is going to walk away from this. Whatever they decide to do with the assets they accumulated, they now have themselves 3 more first-round picks in a second, and they have the ability to make some noise if they want to. We'll see what comes of all of it. But if you're a Panthers fan, you just have to be happy with this. And we've said it so many times. This right here is the golden era of Panthers hockey. It's continuing. And, speaking from the perspective of somebody who watches this team play every single night, all we can tell you to do is just take all this in, because there are a lot of franchises that have been around a lot longer than the Panthers that have never had a run like this team is in the midst of right now.
Doug Plagens here with us. He is the radio voice of the Panthers here on WQAM. He also hosts the Territory Talk podcast and Nonsense on Ice podcast as well. And Doug, for me, I think, and I've seen the growth of hockey through this Panthers run in the, with the youth and the kids, and everyone wants to be involved in hockey now, right? They see this, and I think it's great when you have American players on your team. 2 of the guys that are the faces of USA hockey, the Tkachuk brothers, you have them right here in your backyard. Do you notice, at least with Matthew Tkachuk, that kind of attachment that the local fans down here have with a guy who represents their country like that?
I think it certainly helps. There's no doubt about it. Now, we can tell you from the perspective of this, just following this Panthers team first and foremost, when you have success and sustained success and championship level success, your local fans, and we see this all the time, are going to take to these guys and identify with these guys and root for these guys, regardless of where in the world that they're from. And the Panthers have guys, from all corners of the earth on their roster. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think when we, seeing what Team USA did at the Olympics, the way that they won the gold medal in overtime against Team Canada, the kind of best on best, the matchup, the two teams that were on the collision course, it felt like from the time the Four Nations face-off the year prior had ended, the way that happened, and with that game featuring so many future Hall of Famers and things like that, it was really more than just a moment for hockey. Yeah, that game was monumental, but I think anybody who even kept a casual eye on the National Hockey League noticed, probably believed in the moment that gold medal game was going to have a lasting effect on the buzz around the National Hockey League, and it was going to provide momentum that was going to carry into the playoffs. And you look at the TV ratings numbers and everything like that surrounded the playoffs, and there's no doubt that Team USA's success did provide a really nice boost for the sport across the country. And you look at what the Panthers have done here locally in recent years, and yeah, we see it. There are increased youth hockey numbers, and more girls playing youth hockey than ever, and just the different all the different metrics that would show you the growing popularity of a sport. Those numbers are all on the rise. They're all increasing, and just to get back to your point, when you have a local team achieving the success the Panthers have, you're going to have that. And like I said, I don't think it hurts at all when you do have American-born players achieving that success as well, as far as growing the game right here, not only in our region, but across the country.
All right, Doug, I'm not going to let you go without a little card talk. I mean, I always got to get to the card talk with you, man. What's hot these days? What's on your radar here? What are we working with?
Well, we're a little over a month away from going to the National in Chicago, so I've kind of been sitting back a little bit, calming down my shopping before heading up to the big show in a little over a month. But you and I talk about this a lot, and I think first and foremost, if it's ever anything, there are folks out there who maybe are diehard collectors. There are people out there who maybe have never ripped a pack of cards in their lives, but they're maybe slightly intrigued by it. It's a great hobby because you could get into it with $10 or $10,000, and there's a way for you to enjoy it, and there are fun things you can do with it. Danny, you and I, we've talked about it before, but I love the new stuff. I love keeping up with all the new rookies. I collect a little bit of everything. Sometimes that's what gets me into trouble a little bit, is I try to spread myself too thin and collect a little bit of everything. I admire the people who can keep their focus much more narrow and on a specific thing. But I tend to still find myself always reverting back to the classics, and sometimes it's the things that 10-year-old Doug didn't think he was ever going to be able to go out and find. Might have just been a line in a Beckett magazine, but here adult Doug has the ability, within reason, to go out and maybe conquer some of those collecting conquests, I guess you could call them, from my youth. So I do find myself going back to the classics a lot, but it's a great time to be involved. A lot of things are really hot right now, and a lot of it just starts with, I think we've seen kind of a shift a few years back. I think the hobby was really fueled by speculation and finding the next big thing and stuff like that. And that's always going to be a part of it. But I think we've seen a real shift to people going back to, the GOATs, if you will, and, the Jordan market and the Kobe market. And, you go right down the list, all the Gretzky, all these all-time greats. Their stuff has been really hot here in 2026. And I think even at the rate that it's going right now, I would still say, if I were somebody just casually taking a look at things, you still, even if the prices have gone up, you can't go wrong with names like those that I just mentioned: Jordan, Kobe, Gretzky, Tom Brady, people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think there's a lot of good value in the hockey card market as well. And if
Absolutely.
people want to start collecting Panther players, I've been amazed, Doug. I go and look and the quality of cards that you can get in a very affordable range. You know, if you want the Kachucks, you want, the Barkovs, any of them, like they have very solid, affordable cards, these guys.
Yeah, Upper Deck is the official trading card partner of the National Hockey League, and they do an unbelievable job of keeping the cost of entry manageable on things. And yeah, you're going to have everything from your super premium hit based, autograph heavy, memorabilia heavy products, all the way down to, your entry level products that you find on the shelves at your local Targets and Walmarts and things like that. And there's something for everybody out there, but they just produce a really high quality card. A lot of their stuff is just such nice stock and things like that. Really nice designs. They're really innovative with that stuff. And, compared to a lot of the other sports, you can get in on a lot of the hockey products at a fraction at times of what you might be paying for some of the football and the basketball stuff. And there's just a really high quality product across the board there, and a lot of times some cool guarantees, whether it be the autograph cards that you're chasing or things like that. But yeah, there are a lot of great deals in the hockey segment, and like you said, a lot of really nice, high quality, well produced stuff. Speaking our language, going back, a product that has history going back about a quarter century or so. The new SP Authentic Hockey comes out this week, and that's always been really a really clean design and a really fun product to open, and something that does have a lot of nice autographs and things like that in it.
Doug, it's great to talk to you, man. I'm setting up my first ever table at the Hobby Card Show over there at the Broward Convention Center in August. So I'm gonna have to talk to you again before that and get some strategy and some pointers. I know you do that, but it's great to talk to you today after this incredible news with the Panthers. And thank you for the time, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Doug Plagans, the radio voice of the Panthers, on a big news day for the Cats. They land Brady Tkachuk in a blockbuster trade. The Heat, are they on deck? Omar is finding rumors galore here as the rumor mill is churning. It is churning right now in the NBA. We'll get to that when we come back. We're also going to talk to Anthony Bender from the Marlins. What a story the Marlins have been, and what a story Anthony Bender has been. We're going to get to him as well in the 9 o'clock hour when we come back here on QAM. And we're going to jump right back out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Toyota of Hollywood.com from your Miami Marlins. Anthony Bender is kind enough to join us this morning as the Marlins staying hot right now. Anthony, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. Hey, good morning, guys.
It's great to have you on here, man. You guys have been a fantastic story. And to be almost at the halfway point here, a couple of games over 500. What is the vibe like? What is the mood like in that clubhouse for you guys right now? You guys must be just over the moon with the success you're having.
Oh, yeah. No, we're having a ball in there. Like you just said, we just swept the Giants. I think we're 8-0 in our last 8 home games right now. So we're playing good ball here, and it's been a good time.
Tell me a little bit about this team, the dynamic of this team. And I know there's a lot of youth on this team, and, guys get together. You never know how it's going to go. But how is this team kind of meshed and gelled and able to produce what we're seeing right now?
Yeah, no, we're a young team and definitely a scrappy team. We kind of just putting us together. We're leading off with our dude Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards are kind of leading the way there. And then we got Hicksy, so we got some bangers there. And yeah, no, we're kind of just putting some good ball together, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, from a pitching standpoint, you get guys like that are hitting the way that they are. That's got to be big for the confidence of the pitching staff, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anthony, in terms of the chemistry that you guys are developing, what do you think is the key to that? We hear a lot of times that the Florida Panthers team, when they were winning a championship, it was about their bond, how they always wanted to do everything together. Do you think that plays a lot into when a team is starting to have success?
For definitely. This is like the same team we had last year, and I think that goes a long way. I feel like I've been on the team for 5 years now, and I don't know how many different teammates I've had in these last 5 years. We're always just rotating guys, but now we've got a good group, that's going to be sticking around here for a while. So, getting to know each other personally, outside of just the field, stuff like that, going out to dinners and stuff. And that's been the biggest part of it for sure. So we're playing, having each other's backs and playing for each other this year.
All right, Anthony, you throw one of the wildest pitches I've seen, and I mean that in a good way. Here, this sweeper. By the way, have you seen the attention that this thing has gotten? I mean, you are all over the place. MLB.com, ESPN, they're all, talking about this pitch that you throw, this sweeper.
Yeah, no, it's definitely come a long way. This year, it's definitely getting a lot of love, which is pretty cool. And I'm throwing the crap out of that thing right now, so it's been fun.
So how does that, how do you develop a pitch like that? Walk me through that, because I got a 9-year-old that loves baseball. He's just starting to pitch, and I would love to see him throw that in the under 10 league. So how do we start working on that?
Dude, just kind of trying new things out and catch. One thing I don't recommend is I learned that going through a Tommy John rehab. I was working with the pitching coach up in Jupiter, Florida, and he's like, dude, have you ever heard of this sweeper pitch? And I had no idea what he was really talking about when it was like 3 years ago, kind of a newer word for the sweeper. And he showed me this grip, and I kind of just tinkered with it with my arm slot and everything like that. And then all of a sudden it just clicked, where I'm making this thing move almost 2 feet going to the left. And, turns out this year it's been a pretty good pitch for me. So I've been throwing that thing in there quite a bit.
Anthony, tell me a little bit about your journey to get to where you are now. And I know that you've been around the league, and you were drafted late in the draft, right? In the 613th pick. It's really an amazing story that you've gotten from there to where you are now. But tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, no, like you said, it was a late pick. I was round 20. We used to have 40 rounds back in 2016. So now I think there's only 20 rounds top. So I would have been the last round in today's era to the Kansas City Royals. And then I spent a couple years with them. They ended up releasing me, so I had to go to an independent ball league. I was playing in the middle of Iowa on living on some horse ranch for a little while, playing independent ball. It was a little bit of a trip. And then lucky enough to get picked up by the Milwaukee Brewers. Spent 1 year with them, and then same thing, they didn't sign me back, so I went back to independent baseball. This one I was part of the Milwaukee Milkmen was our team name. It was a good team. We ended up winning the league in 2020, and that's when the Miami Marlins picked me up. after that. And then that was in 2021. I went from playing indie ball in some Milwaukee league to playing in the big leagues less than a year later.
Anthony, I'm curious, the moment for you where it was kind of the like, wow, I'm actually doing this moment. What stadium maybe was that where, you know, you got to take the mound and it was just the thrill that, you know, all of us, you know, you dream about when you're playing little league ball?
Yeah, no, definitely. We so all of 21, it all happened so fast my rookie year where I couldn't even like sit down and take a breath, you know, because I didn't want to, because I felt like it was just all moving super fast. And then in 2022, we were locked out for about a week and a half from playing ball. And then we ended up opening the season in San Francisco. And I grew up being a big San Francisco Giants fan. I'm from the Bay Area. So it was opening day in San Francisco. And I got to go out there and pitch with, you know, all my friends and family out in the stands. And then my favorite player growing up was Brandon Crawford, the shortstop that was there for a long time. And I was in the ninth inning trying to go out and close that game, and Brandon Crawford walks into the box, and I had to step off the mound for a second, kind of take that one in for a little bit, and then he did me a favor and grounded into a double play, so that was a cherry on top.
Anthony, I got to ask you with this team as we get to the halfway point of the season, and clearly you guys are contending, right? And the wild card is in there. We've had some people already send in, hey, you know, ask what if they discuss the wild card. Is that something that you guys ever look at? Do you kind of just like, we're one game? I know it's a long season. Is it one game at a time, or do you think, wow, like we're doing something special right now with this group of guys? We feel like we got a shot here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's still so we haven't even hit the halfway point. I think the halfway point, we hit 81 games on tomorrow, I think on Tuesday. So we're still so far away, but you know, we're definitely in the hunt, which is fun. What comes before that is, you know, are we going to get some reinforcements at the trade deadline, or, you know, where are we going to pan off then? So that's kind of what comes first. And then we're like, all right, then it's the wild card hunt. Hopefully we can, you know, bump up above that and just solidify a spot in the playoffs is the goal. So that all comes in a little while. It's still early in the season, but I mean, you know, we're a couple games above 500, and we're far enough into the season to where, you know, it's real, and we're pushing for it for sure.
You've worked your way up from the Independence League to now a Major League Baseball a cornerstone player. What do you think is the biggest thing that you learned about yourself or this journey?
I would say, man, just sticking with it. My first stint going to indie ball, there's about a month and some change to where you get released and then the indie ball season starts up. And I was, you know, my dad owns a concrete business, and I was set on going to, you know, take over the concrete business after I got released. And then my mom actually talked me back in. She's like, hey, just kind of wait it out, give it one more shot. You know, you've worked, you know, your entire life to go play baseball. Like, give it an extra month and go play. So sticking with that. And then you never know when you're going to peak. There's stories. It was Tarek Skubal and then Paul Skeens did an interview, and they had, I think, 2 or 3 college offers, you know, coming out of high school. And now they're both Cy Young winners. So, you know, if you're playing right now and you're listening to this and you're not getting the love or the attention that you want to, it's, you know, put a little extra work in the weight room and keep grinding, because you never know when you're going to start either throwing harder, hitting the ball farther, and growing into your body. So I'd say that was the biggest thing I've learned, because, I was close to not playing this game, about as close as you can get. And, you know, less than 2 years later, you know, I'm playing in the big leagues on a radio show talking right now, which is pretty cool.
Well, Anthony, speaking of pretty cool, you guys got 3 against Texas here. You're going to head out on the road after this for a little while. So we want to get people to Lone Depot Park. I know you guys love the support out there. There are some great promotions that the marketing team has put together here for these 3 at home. So we're going to tell people about those after we let you run here. But I want to thank you for the time. You are a tremendous story. The whole team is a tremendous story. And you guys make it very easy to root for you out there when you come on and you tell us about your journey and all that stuff. So it's really great. And Anthony, thank you for the time, and best of luck, man. We're rooting for you.
Right on. Yeah, appreciate that. I definitely want the fans to keep coming. It's a lot of fun in there. So we're looking forward to having some hopefully sellouts coming up in the future.
Sounds great. Anthony Bender, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, Anthony Bender from the Marlins, who do have some great promotions coming up here in the next few days. So you got Bark at the Park coming up tonight, along with $1 kids tickets. So if you want to take the kids out to see a big league game, it's only going to cost you $1 there for the kids. We got the 2 for $25 on Tuesday, a couple of tickets, a couple of beers. We got the salute and serve as well on Tuesday. That's first responders with 2 complimentary tickets there. That's active and retired military personnel, veterans, fire rescue, police officers, and healthcare professionals, all with tickets there. And then on the getaway day, you get Wednesday, little noon, 12:10 action there. We got camp days. There's a camp ticket package for that one. And then, of course, the 4 for $44. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 4 popcorns for $44. So thank you to Anthony Bender for joining us. Great story. Absolutely great story. I see your text, Omar. Yes, the stories are great with this Marlins team. I'm with you, man. They have some really cool stories, and that happens when you get a team together like this, that you get a lot of guys that have kind of been around the league and getting their opportunity, and just so cool, man. We really feel good for a guy like that, like Anthony Bender, who just came on with us. We have breaking news in the NBA here, Omar. Now, I'm hesitant to call this breaking news, but they are reporting that the Giannis deal will be done before the draft. Now,
okay. With who?
Kind of like, all right, I felt that was obvious to an extent. Like you felt it was going to happen either at the draft or.
Wasn't there a report? Mark Stein
but,
said it could be after the draft.
Well, last week they said after the draft. Now they're saying before the draft. Look, Omar, when something gets done, they'll report it. And they say that the Heat and the Celtics are the finalists here for Giannis. And Windhorst is now saying that Jaylen Brown is on the table. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Shouldn't I mean, do the Boston Celtics have anything to offer other than Jaylen Brown?
Omar, I don't know off the top of my head what their best package they could offer would be. I know that Jaylen Brown would be the best player in the deal. Should that be, and it says the Celtics are in on, offering Jaylen Brown. So I don't know, Omar. These are all rumors.
Yeah, but Jaylen Brown doesn't want to go to Milwaukee.
I can't imagine he does, and that's where the 3-team trade maybe comes into play. Maybe the Heat find a way to get involved in this thing. I would love to have Jaylen Brown on the Heat. I've kind of been on this.
Would you like him over Giannis?
Yes, I would. I just think that you're getting a guy that's younger, that's more durable, and that just wants to be a number one right now. And, I think Jaylen Brown is going to come up. If he were to come here and play alongside Bam, I think he would put up MVP numbers. Now, the same deal applies. You'd still have to find people to surround him with, right? You'd have to have talent out there.
I think he's very comparable. He'd be very comparable to Jimmy. I think we'd be doing that all over again. And Giannis is a impactful difference maker. I want Giannis, and I also want the Heat to go out and get Ja Morant. But
I mean, when you say, okay, well, let's take Ja Morant out of the equation. But when you say
why must we?
Because we are. But when you say that he's comparable to Jimmy Butler, are you talking about like how Jimmy took them to the finals twice? I mean, like what are you saying by comparable to Jimmy Butler? In your world, what does that mean?
That team can only go so far. I think Giannis is probably one of the still top 5 players in the NBA.
Okay. The Bucks have been trash, right? Like they haven't put enough around him apparently, but
okay. And then when they tried to put
like the Heat had a lot of success with Jimmy. I don't know. You're just kind of throwing that out the window. They were 2 finals, and I think they came over one shot away from a third.
Player with a personality quirk issue.
You did have some personality issues with Jimmy at the end. Yes, you did.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know if you buy any of the stuff that Miles Turner said about Giannis, that he's late all the time, and he's essentially said he's a massive pain in the ass. I think Jaylen Brown.
That's under Doc's loosey-goosey regime, and
I think Jaylen Brown is not as big of a pain in the ass as he would lead you to believe. Like I think his comments after the season were not smart. Right, I don't think it was a great idea for him to say, and maybe he wants out. He does.
He clearly wants out.
He does.
I speak athlete.
Clearly, but
I speak athlete. He wants out. He wants
seems
out.
like he wants out, and The problem becomes when you make comments like you did after the season when you said this is the most fun I've ever had as a player, and I mean, you can connect the dots there. Jason Tatum didn't play most of the year. It leads you to believe that yes, that marriage is not working, and he wants out.
Do you feel comfortable with podcasting and live streaming players?
Does it matter?
I mean, you didn't answer the question.
One of the things that I think the irony of the players that do the podcast and the teams are very protective. You know this, Omar. They're very protective of the athletes when they're in the press conference setting, when they are going on the radio with, the guys that do the games. Like they're very protective of the players, right?
Yeah. There's a
But
media member
nonetheless,
standing over their shoulder saying, "Don't say that."
yeah, exactly. But then they can go on a podcast and an open mic and just let it rip.
Yeah.
So I don't appreciate the irony of that. Like I think these, I just think they kind of whatever. But what are you gonna do, man? You're not gonna stop guys. I mean, it's not ideal.
This
and it's not a Heat thing, right? I can't imagine a Heat player podcasting. It would be new. Now, if the guy's like, podcaster, I'm not coming, maybe you say, all right, we'll do the podcast. But
Duncan Robinson had a podcast as a Heat player for a long time.
But no one listened to that. That's okay.
Yeah, no, he did. What
I
did
didn't
he
even
say?
know you had one, Dan, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I'm just learning this now. So if a high profile Heat player, can we say it like that? A high pro did he really have a podcast the entire time he was here? Omar, you're big in the podcast world. Did you know that?
No, not really. He clearly didn't say anything of interest.
The Heat are big on like one voice. That's the Heat's thing, right?
It's really not podcasting anymore. It's live streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
And the live streamers are dangerous because they say anything. And
I think the Heat had one guy who was live streaming on a video game stream or something and had a little bit of a mishap, if you recall.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Was that the big guy, right? Yeah, he had a little bit of a little whoopsie moment there on a video game stream. So look, man, you want to throw an open mic in front of yourself at all times?
It's dangerous for me.
Yeah. Omar, you have Twitter and it doesn't always go so well. There's a lot of times where I see some stuff that you send out and I'm like, you probably could have hit the X instead of the tweet, but
I've got better with that over the years. That was me 5 years ago.
Baby steps, right? All right, we'll come back. We'll talk more about this situation here as we have what ESPN is calling breaking news. I don't know that this is necessarily breaking news, but the Heat and Celtics are apparently the finalists here in the Giannis sweepstakes. We'll continue to discuss when we come back on WQAM.
Problem still affecting your commute this morning. Traveling in Miami-Dade. This traffic report is brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach. An accident on 95 Express southbound before Florida's Turnpike has all of those express lanes shut down. Also dealing with a multiple vehicle accident along Airport Expressway eastbound from Lejeune Road to Northwest 22nd Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Aliyah Escobar on FM 104.3, and you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
I like this music, Dan. Very calm for a very tense situation that we're in right now.
I'm trying to calm down a little. Brady Kachuk, a little Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right. I'm Hollywood. Omar Kelly is with us. Dan Day is with us. Blake is hanging with us today as well. We're going to get your stock market report brought to you by Anna Jarn Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Market is open for business. And the Dow up 240 points, S&P up 17, NASDAQ down 25. Best of luck to all players there. All right, if you are just joining us, here's the rundown. It is a very busy time, apparently, here. And, again, we knew this when Joe left, that some things were going to happen. I figured there would be a Heat deal. I did not figure there would be a Panther deal of this magnitude. But the Panthers made a trade to bring in Brady Kachuk, brother of Matthew Kachuk, to join the Cats. So the Panthers, with a blockbuster trade here, getting rid of a bunch of picks. And we had Doug Plagans on earlier. And, yeah, the NHL draft is definitely a very developmental type of deal. You draft very young guys, and it's not exactly like the plug and play like, the NBA or the NFL, right? It's more kind of like the Major League Baseball draft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be a better comparison for it. So Brady Kachuk gets added to the team, and the Panthers are loaded once again. Barkov is healthy. Matthew Kachuk should be healthy to start the season. So they have loaded it up, and you talk about an exciting product. Man, the Panthers just continue to make really, really strong moves. Credit Bill Zito over there, and they're such a well-coached team under Coach Maurice. So the Panthers with some really good news. The Heat with some 50-50 news at this point here, I guess at best. The news coming out is that the Bucks want to decide before the draft, which is like, yeah, obviously.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, which you knew was going to happen, right? I mean, I figured it was either going to be tomorrow, today, tomorrow, or in the maybe the days right after the draft. But again, I thought it didn't make a whole lot of sense that they would want to wait. But what we are hearing now, Omar, take this for whatever it's worth. This is coming from Mark Stein. There's just all kinds of reporting going on. Miami's known offer, we know this, right? Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and the 13th pick.
Yes.
Boston's package is less clear. He said, like, you asked me what Boston would trade. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows at this point. Yeah. But apparently Jaylen Brown is going to be the centerpiece of whatever deal Boston offers.
But hasn't he made it clear he doesn't want to go to Milwaukee?
I don't know if he's made anything. Jaylen Brown? I don't know if Jaylen Brown's made anything clear to anyone. And
it's been through back channels that he doesn't want to go to Milwaukee, and supposedly if he does go to Milwaukee, they're going to have to move him somewhere else. So
maybe that's where the Heat jump into this thing. Maybe that's where the Heat give that entire same package back to Milwaukee again, and you take Jaylen Brown instead, which I'm kind of sold on the fact I think Jaylen Brown would be a better fit. Just me personally. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me on that. He's certainly not as big of a personality. He's not as big of a star as Giannis. Giannis is an international superstar, right?
Giannis is an international superstar, a very, very unique player. I can find and develop a Jaylen Brown. Just my personal opinion. If I'm the Miami Heat,
you can find and develop a Jaylen Brown.
I can. I do. The Heat have developed a number of 2s and 3s. That's their wheelhouse. Jaylen Brown is a 2. He's a 3. He's a swingman player.
He almost won the MVP this past season, Omar.
That's okay.
So he's a 2. He's a 2.
I was letting you go. I mean,
I get it, but is he Dan Day? Would you pick Giannis over Jaylen Brown? Would you pick
No,
Jaylen
I
Brown?
take Jaylen Brown over Giannis. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm in the minority.
More ceiling, higher ceiling at this point in their careers.
I tend to agree. Look, Giannis had injury problems, right? I mean, Jaylen Brown, what did he play? So here's his numbers, Omar. He played 71 games last year, almost 29 points a game, almost 7 rebounds a game, a little over 5 assists a game. Those are big numbers as he stepped into the role of top dog.
So top dog and didn't have to share the ball, which is cool.
I wouldn't say he didn't have to share the ball. They have other good players on Boston. They were not a pushover team, Omar.
So how is it that we can't have we don't know what the package is?
Second, they finished second. They finished 30 games over 500, second in the East. So they weren't like exactly a pushover team, and they do have other good players again on Boston. So I just happen to think that he's younger, he's more durable, and he has much bigger upside to me than Giannis. But here's the thing: we got to see where this first act plays out here. Maybe Milwaukee decides they want to deal with the Heat. I don't know how this is going to go down, Omar.
I mean, it's very clear that Milwaukee doesn't
give, but Brown would be the best player involved in the deal without question.
It's very clear that Milwaukee doesn't like the Heat's offer, but it happens to be the best offer. I believe that we've heard that Milwaukee doesn't want Hero. They want to find somebody who can take on Hero and possibly trade him for something else. So, okay, if it's between the Heat and Boston, clearly it's about, okay, who gets the better player? Well, Boston has the better player, but who has the better package? I'm not sure Boston's rolling out the red carpet like the Heat is.
Texter said you guys are delusional if you think there's a world where Boston makes a trade that would land Miami Jaylen Brown. This whole thing is kind of weird, right? Because you don't usually see teams that are kind of all rivals here. Like, you don't usually see this where these teams are all like getting together and it's like, all right, Milwaukee, Miami, and Boston. These are teams that have been top of the East for, well, the Heat, I don't know if kind of falling into mediocrity here, but you know what I'm saying. Like, these are teams that are all very competitive with one another. So usually, yes, you do not see this, but Milwaukee has to do what's best for them, right? Like, they're going to make the deal that's best for them. And I don't think
I think you're underestimating the amount of control that Giannis might have. And I'm not
control, but I'm guessing he's told them it's like, I'm fine with either destination.
Okay.
I don't see why he would have a problem going to Boston and teaming up with Jason Tatum. And again, I don't know who else they're going to be able to keep around there, but
I mean, who's the Heat able to keep around? So
they're not keeping a lot around if you look at the proposed offer. And so I guess at this point, it's make your best offer, and we'll call you and we'll let you know.
It's like either you want to play with Tatum or you want to play with Bam. Okay.
My guess is he told them I'm fine with both. If I had to guess, right? Neither situation is bad. They're both good situations.
He's a foreigner, so he doesn't know Boston. So I believe you're right. And he's lived in Milwaukee and pretended like he liked it. So yeah.
That's Omar Kelly, folks. Always got an interesting spin on everything.
You've been to Milwaukee, you know.
Milwaukee.
I love Milwaukee, by the way, and also he sent his family out to Greece this past year to live there. So to say that he cares about where he lives is kind of interesting.
By the way, yeah, you better clear some roster spaces for his brothers because I'm guessing they're coming too.
Yeah, man. Listen, he can develop. He can develop the brothers. He can develop.
They can find a Jaylen Brown. Just find one.
Absolutely. The Heat. Come on, you act like the Heat haven't developed 2s and 3s. Duncan, come on. Who was Duncan before the Heat developed?
You're still saying Jaylen Brown's a 2 or a 3.
What did you?
2s and 3s are interchangeable now in the NBA. Don't act like they're not.
Is Jaylen Brown a 2 still?
No, of course he's not. But did you just compare him to Duncan Robinson?
All I'm saying is the Heat can develop swing players.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's a shooter.
Okay. Does the Heat have a history of developing swing players, 2s, 3s, shooters?
Not really.
Not really? Come on.
Not really. The Heat have had their success when they've gone big in free agency. Okay, the Heat are not the build through the draft.
Rasul Butler. Come on.
Who did you say?
Rasul Butler.
Rasul Butler?
Yes. Did the Heat develop him?
We got to go to break.
Hold on.
We're running late.
Ron Butler. Rasul
Okay.
Quran.
Whatever you say. All right, we're gonna take a pause. Omar's gonna regroup, and we'll come back. We'll hand this thing off to Tobin and Leroy after this.
people like this physique more than Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Then in his comments, women were just like, because it looks weird. He was just why? No, this isn't.
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. Hollywood, Omar Kelly, Dan Day along here with you. We're getting set to hand it off to Tobin and Leroy. We're going to get some Heat news coming up here. Dan made the mistake of asking me about my basketball teams here during the break, and I had to show him some of the chat from the 4-year-old team. And man,
you thought Heat Nation was bad.
Yeah. That one I might have probably have to rethink some life.
It's your bad drafting and front office skills. That's by the way.
It is. I am bad at drafting. I will definitely admit to that. But
you didn't put any effort into your scouting. But to redeem myself, James Jones, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Max Struess, Josh Richardson, who I was thinking about, Tyler Hero, Triple J, Pelle Larsons, Nikola Jovic. Those are all players the Heat have developed over the years.
Okay, fair enough. That was a good list. That was a pretty good list.
2s and 3s.
And once again, comparable to Jaylen Brown.
No. I'm just saying in terms of the ability to develop those players. I mean,
someone was trying to give me the benefit of the doubt on here. I think you mean when you say 2s and 3s, you mean like second tier and third tier guys, right? Not
no. I mean like
shooting guards and small forwards.
Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay. Wow. I actually didn't even think you would go with that terminology on me. I think me and Dan Day both thought you said Jaylen Brown was a 2, like a second tier, like a Pippen.
No. I mean, he's in the terms of position, he's a swing player. He's a 2 and a 3. He's a
swing player. See, the way you're saying it, the way you keep saying, you just did it again. He's a 2 or a 3. Like you just said it like that. Like that means like he's not a 1 is the way you're implying that.
No.
I don't know how that maybe that texter speaks Omar, but like to me, that's how you're saying it.
No. He's definitely a marquee player.
Okay.
Now he won a championship. Come on, he's definitely a marquee player. He won the MVP of that championship. Would I pick Giannis over him? Yes. I'm not a big believer that Giannis is about to fall apart. So
I don't think he's a fall apart either. I'd be happy with either one. I
personally don't believe that you should be worried about more than 3 years in professional sports.
Wayne says I'm just slow. All right, fair enough. It's been an interesting morning. We had, by the way, if you missed any of the stuff from today, Perk joined us earlier to talk some Dolphins, so we had that. We had Anthony Bender from the Marlins who joined us. The Marlins are red hot. They're playing today at 6:40. Great promotions coming up this this series. It's 3 more until they hit the road. So we got that. And Doug Plagans from the Panthers was kind enough to join us. The Panthers with a massive trade last night. And Omar, I assume when we come in tomorrow, we're going to have some Giannis news. I think it'll break today at some point. Hopefully it breaks in the next few minutes and Tobin and Leroy can take you the rest of the way and they can break that one down for you. That's going to do it for us here today. For Dan and Omar, Blake hanging with us today. I'm Hollywood. Have a great day. Tobin and Leroy, they are coming up next here on QAM.